We're at Ramona High School. It is the Riverside TV High School Football Game of the Week. A River Valley League showdown this week between the Ramona Rams and the Hillcrest Trojans. Good evening, Ghazal Hassan back with you along with Jeff Gorham. And Jeffrey, heavy playoff implications tonight for both teams, both Ramona and Hillcrest. Let's start with the home team, the Rams. Now, they can still get in the playoffs if they don't win tonight, but we both know that's not what Ken Mashinsky wants. He wants to win the game, go 4-1 in league, be the second place team in the River Valley League, and then go 9-1 overall, which would be the best record, would tie for the best record in a regular season for a Ramona football team. Give me a scouting report on the Rams and what they need to do tonight.
The Rams are going to have to throw the football. They didn't throw the football well against Norte Vista. They had a little setback. They didn't look like they were in sorts. They just have to play their style of football. They need to put up 45 points to win this ball game.
All right, let's move over to the Hillcrest Trojans. Even if they win tonight, they have to wait out the results of the Arlington Patriot game before they know if they're an automatic qualifier in the River Valley League. But Travis Carter, the head coach of the Trojans, they've had a tough year dealing with some injuries and some personnel issues, but they're right here in Week 10 with a chance to get into the playoffs. But bottom line is they need to win tonight.
They need to win tonight, but I'll tell you what, last week we saw these guys outplay the Braves for an entire half. If they can do those things, play solid defense, hold Ramona under 40 points, they have a shot for an upset.
Week 10, River Valley League. I don't know what else you need. Now we'll kick to the third member of our broadcast team, J.R. Ibarra alongside. He'll break down some of those potential playoff scenarios.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
Well, guys, each and every year the River Valley League offers its own bit of drama when it comes to CIF playoff time, and this season is no exception. For the Trojans of Hillcrest, as the ball gets kicked off, this is a team that must win tonight in order to get themselves into the playoff situation. They currently sit tied at third place here in the River Valley League, but it's Arlington who holds the tiebreaker because they defeated Hillcrest earlier on the season. For the Ramona Rams, it is kind of a situation where they should get into the situation of being in the CIF. Lost tonight, but nonetheless, it's a really good matchup that we'll see played out here on the gridiron. Let's set it up top and get things going for tonight.
Thank you, JR. Ghazal and Jeff back with you. The toss was won by Hillcrest. They deferred, which is why Ramona got the football, and they're 1st and 10 from the 35. Nathan Johnson takes the snap. He'll give to Bo Bruins right up the middle, and down he goes. Brought down on the play by Isaac Alvarado making the tackle, the outside linebacker for Hillcrest. And it's really going to come down to which team runs the football better tonight, I think, Jeff.
I agree. I mean, we saw last week, we touched on it a little bit in the open. I thought Hillcrest outplayed Norte Vista in that first half. They just gave up a couple big runs by Eddie Elaine, and that was about it.
2nd down from the 37, Johnson to throw. Looking downfield, he's got Valenzuela. He did not hold on to it, incomplete. Jonathan Prado on the coverage for Hillcrest brings up 3rd down and 8.
I'll tell you what, they like to throw the ball down the sideline. We've seen that several times. It didn't work very well against Ramona. They never were in sync with the receivers, but if they can connect on a couple of those plays tonight, it could be a long night.
And remember, when they played Norte Vista, they did not have Jake Valenzuela. He's the outside threat for Nathan Johnson. He's averaging 22 yards a catch. 3rd and 8 coming up from the 37. Here comes the blitz. Johnson stands in, throws to the outside, incomplete. Intended for Manny Villa. Diego Rodriguez on the coverage for Hillcrest. Looks like a 3-and-out for the Rams.
Yeah, tough way to start this ball game, but Hillcrest kind of doing exactly what they did last week. They're forcing the offense to make plays, and their defense is holding up solid here tonight so far.
Yeah, one thing we can say, and I think this is the third time we've seen Hillcrest, their defense has played very well. It's been a nice job by their new defensive coordinator, Ahmad Noor, came over from Rancho Verde after a dozen years there with the Mustangs. Isaac Conrado, one of the seniors honored in the pregame senior ceremony, kicks the ball picked up at the 17-yard line and written down at about the 25-yard line, about a 45-yard kick for Conrado and a 7-yard return, and that's where Hillcrest will tee it up.
And we saw at times Hillcrest was able to run the football against a very good Norte Vista team. They just couldn't put the ball in the end zone. But this Ramona up front, the big guys up front are going to have to take care of business here.
It's going to be that battle in the trenches between Ramona and Hillcrest. So from the 25, 1st and 10. Here's the give to Matthew Klein, and down Klein goes in the middle of that defense. Let's see who got up from the bottom and made the tackle. Castaneda getting up from the bottom of the pile, and big Marcus Perez. Now those two big guys. Now Ramona playing without a couple of defensive starters tonight. Joseph Martinez is out. He could be done for the season. And I know Nicky Chavez was a game-time decision. I don't believe he is out there. So those are two key defensive starters for Ramona. That's the negative. The positive is you finally have Marcus Perez back. He missed 6 games, came back for Norte Vista, but now he's had 3 games under his belt, so you can see him with the energy that he would provide. No gain on that first play, and the snap is fumbled. Picking it up is Dominguez, and down he goes in the backfield. Michael Michaelides in on the hit, and ball going back inside the 20-yard line, a loss for Hillcrest.
He wasn't ready for the football. It was snapped, and it hit him on the side. He was not prepared. That was an error by the center there.
So 3rd down coming up. 1st down would be to the 36-yard line. Ball back at the 19, so about a 3rd and 17 coming up. Daniel Deanda split out to the bottom of your screen. And here's Dominguez. He throws it up in the air and nearly intercepted by Karan Baldwin. In the vicinity was Deanda, the intended receiver, and 4th down.
Yeah, Baldwin had his hand right on, tipped it with his left hand and nearly caught it off the carom. But yeah, both teams coming out trying to throw the football here.
Baldwin, the second leading tackler on the team for Ramona, he was actually supposedly going to be a game-time decision, but obviously on the field for Coach Mashinsky and the Ramona Rams. Deanda on to kick, Valenzuela back deep to receive, and illegal procedure called on Hillcrest will back it off 5 more yards. First penalty on the Trojans. Talking to Travis Carter this week, he said, hey, we had a good week of practice, and they were a little frustrated. They haven't scored in 3 weeks. They were shut out twice in a row. They had the torrential downpour on Monday, but he still said, hey, we got good work in this week. From the goal line, here's the kick by Deanda. Valenzuela comes in. It'll bounce and take a Hillcrest bounce and be down at about the 35-yard line. Check that was a Ramona bounce. Down at about the 35-yard line. So 21 yards on the punt and good field position for the Rams. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line.
I'll tell you what, great field position, and we have yet to hear from the great back, Bo Bruins.
Bruins comes into the game with some great numbers on the year. Had 135 yards on 13 carries last week, 2 touchdowns, and had a kickoff return for a touchdown last week as well. From the 35 of Hillcrest, 1st and 10. Here's the throw to the outside. Valenzuela on the comeback route. Dancing around at the 35, but down he goes. Locked in on him were Diego Rodriguez and Jonathan Prado. Couple of yards on the play, 2nd down.
Nice little screen pass, but the blockers didn't set him up. Hillcrest able to get there quick off the edge, take care of business here early with just a short gain on the play.
2nd and 7 coming up. They'll mark it to the 32-yard line. Johnson to throw over the middle, complete to the outside, down to the 11-yard line. Royce Mendoza moving the sticks, a 21-yard pickup. Mendoza into duty, the sophomore, stepped in for the injured Jordan Daniels, had a touchdown catch last week against Patriot, 21 yards on the completion.
I like where they threw the football, middle of the field. Exploit that secondary, then maybe you might be able to go outside, but the middle of the field's been wide open so far here for the Rams.
So officially mark it to the 12-yard line of Hillcrest. Johnson to Bruins, trying the middle, and down he goes at about the 5-yard line, making the tackle, the big fella in the middle. That's Abe Khatib making the tackle. 6-yard on the run by Bruins. So second down and about 2 coming up from the 5. Via to the top of your screen, to the bottom of your screen, Valenzuela. Shiner flexed out to the right side. This is Johnson to throw. Here is the throw and a touchdown. Royce Mendoza with the catch for the Rams. Touchdown, Ramona.
Once again, middle of the field's been wide open. And they have been capitalizing on that here on this drive. They saw something on that first series and said, hey, we need to go inside. Coach Mush to his son. How great is that, though? What a great story. He got to meet his mom and the wife of Coach Mashinsky, Jennifer, before the game.
Very nice. She's in TV. I did not know that.
Yeah, she worked for Riverside TV. She's worked for Pep Fernandez before.
Conrado with the PAT, 7-0 for the Rams. So they go to the air. They run 4 plays to score the touchdown. 3 of them through the air. The big play, the 21-yard completion to young Royce Mendoza. And how about Mendoza stepping up and making the big play on the drive, Jeff Gorham?
Oh, great. Just, nails, as they like to say. 2 couple great catches and going forward. Just a tough play. Great start for the Rams here, though.
So to let you in on it, if the Rams win, they are in, because they'd be the second place team in the River Valley. As we get a look at the touchdown there, they would be 4-1 in second place, 9-1 overall, which we were talking to John Tibbles before the game, Jeff. That is the best record in the history of Ramona High School.
And that's incredible. It's the second oldest high school in Riverside. And you think about some of the great teams. They've had 2 CIF championships and still not that good a record. That's what the Rams have done so far this year.
So the kickoff, the short kickoff picked up by Amarian Littleton for Hillcrest will be out to the 38-yard line, and that's where they'll start. So not kicking it deep were the Rams, and maybe trying a little trickery there on the special teams side and call it the 40-yard line. So split out to the bottom of your screen for Hillcrest is Jaden Bishop. Here's the comeback. Brian Zabados with the reception at the 40, dancing up to the 45. Among others, Bo Bruins brings him down at the 46. First completion on the afternoon for Caleb Dominguez. 6 yards to Brian Zabados, and Zabados was missing last week in the game against Novi. So nice to get him into the rhythm early here, 2nd and 4.
And if you're watching, it looks like almost like a mirror image offense. Both teams have run the same play. I wonder why. Is it the master with the Padawan? Is that what we've discussed? Coach Mashinsky being the head coach of Travis Carter at one time over at Martin Luther King High School, where Carter was the quarterback.
Always 2 there are, Jeff. 1 master and 1 apprentice. Dominguez, RPO. Thank you very much, says Nathan Horton. He'll throw him down at the 40-yard line, and young Nathan Horton is fired up.
Horton saved that energy for the line, bud. That was a lot of expressed energy after the play.
So a 4-yard loss. 3rd down and 8 for Hillcrest. Nehemiah Norwood, they call him the Neo. To the top of your screen in the far slot, Daniel Deonda. Jaden Bishop to the bottom of your screen. They've brought in Demarion Littleton, the defensive tackle, as a fullback, perhaps to counter some of the blitzing from the linebackers. And here it comes. Dominguez pumps. rolling under pressure, throws it down the field, incomplete, double coverage on Jaden Bishop. Nicky Chavez in on the play, but making the play and breaking it up was Joseph Soto, and 4th down.
So we are getting a little bit of Nicky Chavez.
Chavez wasn't expected to play. We said Ken Mashinsky said he was touch and go as of yesterday, but obviously got cleared. So it all comes down to the medical staff. We saw Jim Clover on the field before the game, so obviously the Ramona athletic trainer and the medical staff feels he's ready to play, and they've cleared him, and no coach is going to play a player who's not cleared. 7-0 here in the first quarter. Daniel Deanda on to kick. Jake Valenzuela back to receive the punt.
If you saw Jim Clover, he looks like he was part of the Silver Bullet Band.
Fake. Deanda running the fake. A flag comes in, and on the far side, he doesn't get anywhere near it. I bet Joseph Soto was on the coverage, but we have some laundry on the field. So the hold is going to be against Hillcrest, and it'll be declined. So again, Ramona's going to have pretty good field position, I think, at about the 42-yard line. But let's introduce our officiating crew tonight. Tim Watt is our white hat. He is the referee.
Tim Watley?
Ross Guthrie, the umpire. Tim McCullough, our headlinesman. Marvin Brown, the line judge. Stephen Levette, the back judge. No, it's Tim Watt, not Tim Watley.
Oh,
Tim Watley's a fictional character anyway, played by Bryan Cranston.
Wait a sec, that's a fictional character? I've always been an anti-dentite because of Tim Watley.
Tim Watley. Well, no, Watley's the anti-dentite. He was the original anti-dentite.
He was.
So from the 42, it'll be 1st and 10 for Ramona. And here's something that we talked about when we called the Novi game a couple of weeks ago for the Rams. They have gone out to big starts this year. It's scaled back a little bit. On average, they lead at halftime 30-7. The most points scored against them in the first half was by Corona back on the 9th of September. They scored 21 points. It was 21-21 at the half. So Ramona now back in rhythm to where they're leading. If they can get a touchdown here, they would be up 14-0 in the first quarter. Last week against Patriot, it was 28-13 at the half, and that was a little close compared to some of the scores we've seen for Ram High over the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was all systems go early on, averaging, like I said, over 45 points a game, and it just seems like every time they touched the ball, they were getting points out of somebody.
So we got a couple of games that we're interested in that may affect the outcome here. It's 1st and 10 from the 42. Johnson gives to Bruins. Bruins trying the right side, trying to turn the corner, and Jonathan Prado steps up and drops him at about the 38-yard line. So 4 yards for Bruins. Also bearing down on the play was Trey Williams. Williams had the contain, and then Prado came in and cleaned it up for Hillcrest. 2nd down and 6 coming up.
There's a close-up of Bo Bruins there. You got to get him a new painted helmet, buddy.
I like the Rebel Alliance pilot helmet.
That's like he's flying on
Stay on target. Stay on target. 2nd and 6 from the 38. Here's Shiner in motion. The give to Bruins. Spun down up front, making the tackle. Joshua Baca for Hillcrest.
Yeah, I'm an alumni. I'm going to have to chip in my $50 donation to get his helmet fixed.
Yeah, leave it. I like it. It's a battered helmet of a weathered pilot, Bo Bruins. He's had a couple of runs at the Death Star. What I never understood is, with the popularity of Star Wars, how did Target not incorporate the stay on target into some kind of marketing scheme?
It should have been. We could do it now.
Stack formation, both on the top and the bottom of your screen. And Amari Wiley looks like he moved. Wyatt Scroggins pointing him out. Come on, Wyatt. I know he moved, but nobody likes a snitch.
Nobody.
Just let the official make the call. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. We're joking, of course.
He didn't sell it right, though. He went like this. He put his head on his helmet afterwards, like, oh, I screwed up. You don't do that. You point back at the other guy.
Right. The old Spider-Man meme from the internet.
You got to go act.
First assessed penalty on Ramona. Move it back 5 yards. Makes it a 3rd and 9. Johnson spins the ball in his hand, throws it over the middle. Quadruple coverage in front of Zach Shiner. Incomplete. How about Levi Murgy getting there to make the play on the football, and it's 4th down? So 4th down coming up from the 42. 22-yard line of Ramona, and here comes Coronado. He's going to try to pin the Trojans deep. Troy Williams, the junior, back to receive. I know you love kickers. Coronado's done a great job for Ramona this year. Low snap. Coronado puts his foot into it. Williams going to just back off. It'll bounce at about the 13 and roll dead at about the 11. So a 31-yard kick, no return. Coronado pins Hillcrest inside the 20. That's where Hillcrest will start. Now, Hillcrest playing without Jalen Bailey, their fine tailback we saw a couple of weeks ago. First and 10. They'll call it the 12. Here's the give up the middle. Marcus Perez with some penetration in the middle for Ramona. Nominal gain. Christian Pinnell on the run. Second down. Dominguez to throw. Williams with the catch at about the 15. And he's tackled right there. Making the tackle for Ramona is Brenton Herbin, the senior. Now, he was supposed to step in for Nicky Chavez. We saw Chavez earlier. I'm guessing it's a rotation situation. So about a 3-yard pickup on the play, the completion for Dominguez.
And Ramona right there to make the tackles. We've talked about Mashinsky teams. They really do tackle very well. And they tackled early on. That's what got them, I think got them a couple wins early on in the season.
Complete to Norwood at the 21. He'll be tackled right there. The first man there was Karan Baldwin, and then Joseph Soto showed up as well. Close to a first down. It'll depend where they spot it. It looks like they're going to move the sticks.
Oh, big spot there for Hillcrest.
So just enough on the throw to Nehemiah Norwood as he makes the reception for the first down. They spotted to the 23, so first and 10 from the 23. Here's the give to Pinnell, and down he goes at about the 24-yard line. Bo Bruins in on the hit. Also in on the hit for Ramona, Nathan Horton, so a couple of yards for Pinnell.
There's a couple guys we talk about defensively, play both ways. Bo Bruins is one of those guys, could be a great defender. And then the guy over at Norte Vista,
Eddie Elaine,
another great defender.
End around to Zabados. Zabados gets over the 25, fights his way through a couple of tackles to the 30. Finally brought down by Desmond Watkins. He ran through a couple of tackles there and picked up about 5 yards on the play. Nice job by Zabados. Normally a receiver, but a little trickeration. Here comes the end around. Third down and about 4.
No huddle here.
From the 30-yard line. Here's the comeback route to Zabados. And right there making the tackle is Christian Martinez, and coming over the top and finishing off is Bruins, but it'll be fourth down coming up.
I will say this, though. Best defensive player in the River Valley League, Jesse Carvajal.
I won't argue with you there.
And I think we've seen them, 4 times this year, and every single time he's just one of those guys who was electric defensively. But how about Eddie Elaine and both those two guys defensively? A lot like Bo Bruins here for Ramona. Two-way players and really dominate the football.
So fourth down coming up. Deanda on to punt. Line is the 29-yard line. That's not Deanda, actually. That's Martinez with the punt. Rolls dead at about the 48-yard line. So not much of a kick. 21-yard kick, no return. And Ramona, again, has pretty good field position.
I apologize, Gazal, if I'm squeaking a little bit. My voice, I'm like Peter Brady in the Brady Bunch.
When it's time to change, Jeff, you got to rearrange who you are and what you're going to be.
I was hoping you'd go there. Great song. Time to change, you got to
And remember, they didn't have a lot of time. They had another song written.
Yes.
And then Peter lost his voice. So, and if you're under 40, you have no idea what we're talking about. But it's all good. Actually, if you saw the movies, maybe you did a little bit. From the 48, 1st and 10. Here's the play action. They're going up top. They have Valenzuela one-on-one, incomplete. Jonathan Prado was with him step for step. Ken Mashinsky trying to stretch the field, and the ball falls incomplete.
Valenzuela, go for the dive. Let's see Lynn Swan here. You got to dive after that. Look at that. Ah, that's where you extend. That's where you make a poster.
Jake, an outstanding baseball player as well. Ramona has a really great baseball program as well. And pretty good basketball team, right?
They do. Not as good as when I was here, though, buddy.
I was waiting for that. 2nd and 10 from the 48. Bruins trying to go around the end, and they lock in on him, and down he goes. Nice play. Looming there was Nathaniel Norwood. Nathaniel Navarro makes the play, but also with some resistance was Baca. Kind of blew that play up a little bit, allowing Navarro to come in and make the play. So a loss of 3 yards for Bruins. And they've done a nice job so far on Bruins. They've bottled him up a little bit here. He's only got 10 yards on 5 carries. 3rd and 13 coming up as the first quarter dwindles away. Play action. Here's the throw by Johnson looking for Villa, but Rodriguez with him one-on-one, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down with 15 seconds left here in the first quarter. Ramona leads this one 7-0, a key matchup in the River Valley League. And I mentioned there are a couple of other games we're paying attention to. One of them, Jeff, is obviously in the River Valley League, that Arlington-Hillcrest game. If Hillcrest wins, if Arlington can beat Patriot, they'll put themselves in the driver's seat for an AQ automatic qualifier out of the River Valley League. They've already got a win over Hillcrest. 4th down, and here's Conrado to punt it for Ramona. Trey Williams standing at the 15-yard line of Hillcrest. Conrado puts his foot into it. And it's going to bounce out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. That's a good kick. 42-yard kick, no return.
Now, you've gone to the supercomputer of what Cal preps and kind of looked.
Yeah.
You're the master of what
I put out a projection. I mean, right now, last week I had Hillcrest in. This week we had them out because they were under 500. But now you and I both found out through a mutual source that we talked to that probably if you have the right power rating or Cal Prep rating, you're under 500. You don't have to worry. You can breathe easy. They'll allow you an at-large bid. So Hillcrest from their 10, trailing 7-0. And that's been the issue. Hillcrest defense, we talked about. We saw them last week. They've played well. The offense really hasn't been able to get anything going. As Dominguez trying to make it happen, he gets blown up right at about the 10-yard line. Desmond Watkins and Marcus Perez team up on that hit. So Dominguez just basically more or less gets back to the line of scrimmage. And they've struggled right so far.
I don't know if you knew this, but, Norte Vista went 10-0 last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know who was at the game?
Who?
The great Heisman Trophy winner. I'll just give you that's the first clue.
Heisman Trophy
winner? Heisman Trophy winner was a phenomenal running back. Played at, I don't want to give this away. He was in the league, bounced around a little bit because he enjoyed, he imbibed in a little extracurricular activities.
Mm-hmm.
The great Ricky Williams was at Norte Vista.
Really?
Yes.
Well, nothing illegal about what Ricky was doing.
Now it's like,
anymore. 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. J.R. Ibarra on the sideline tonight.
Yeah, guys, one of the main concerns for Ken Mashinsky is the health of some of his players. He has a few players that are banged up tonight. In fact, I talked with Kenyon Phillips, one of the defensive linemen here for the Rams, and he's sitting out this game because of concussion protocol. But he's hoping to get himself into the playoffs if they get into those playoffs next weekend. So a little bit of health issues here for the Rams. Hopefully it won't hamper them in this game, but we'll see how it shakes out as we start off the second quarter. Back up.
Here's the give. And that's Matt Klein. He goes right into the awaiting arms of Marcus Perez, and the big fella gets up from the bottom of the pile, Javier Castaneda as well. And I was going to say that The defense of Ramona has stepped it up tonight. Thus far, just 10 yards, including that run by Matthew Klein for Hillcrest. 3rd down. Dominguez to throw. Here comes a little bit of pressure. Nice screen to Klein to the 20. He's got the 1st down and more. Klein in the open field. Klein to midfield and dragged down from behind. That's Desmond Watkins finally making the tackle at the 35-yard line. 53-yard play to flip the field for Ramona.
That's the biggest play we've seen from Hillcrest in quite a while, but what a great tackle from behind.
Yeah, Desmond Watkins, nice job there to drag him down. And the defense steps right up again. You're going to get plays like that, but you got to step up. You give up a big one, you got to step right up again. The loss back to the 37-yard line, 2nd and 12 from the 37 for Hillcrest. They're now on the Ramona side of the field. Dominguez to throw, looking to the outside. He's got a man. And it's complete. Touchdown, Trey Williams. A 37-yard strike from Caleb Dominguez to Trey Williams. And right back in this one are the Trojans.
Wow, what a great couple plays from the Trojans, really taking advantage of that secondary of Ramona High School.
The screen pass to Klein kind of loosened up the defense, and then Travis Carter went into his bag of tricks and went for the big strike, and he got it. The PAT is no good. Now, I'm curious as to what's going on with Deanda. Remember, we saw Martinez punt. Now he goes and misses the PAT. Remember, Deanda had an issue with the shoulder. Maybe that's flared up because he's not on the field to kick the PAT.
That is a tough one. I mean, it could be tie ball game. Both these teams seem to be playing even. That could affect the outcome of this ball game here.
So 7-6 after the missed PAT. 10:34 to go in the second quarter, and big-time playoff implications tonight. The other 2 games we're watching, obviously we're watching in the River Valley League. We're watching Arlington and Patriot to see what the result will be for that one. The other one, if you're a Riverside person, and I find this, I'm interested in this one. How about Lakeside and Riverside Poly? That's a big one in the Inland Valley League.
Huge. Poly can make a playoff run here.
Our good friend John Rice, the head coach of Poly. But how about James Seidler and the job he's done at Lakeside? He took over in 2019. They were 1-9. They could be 7-3 if they win. Another short kickoff, fielded at the 35-yard line. This is Baldwin weaving up to about the 35 and tumbles down at the 35-yard line. Some physicality there at the end of the run. And flags come in. Our officiating crew finally getting some work done.
That was a friendly shove.
There'll be the offsetting personal fouls, looks like.
Man, Riverside North went undefeated, 10-0.
Congratulations to everybody over there, OP Vaipulu, Matt Walter, all our good buddies over there at John W. North, and all the fans at the Doghouse.
So 2 Riverside teams, 10-0, pretty incredible.
Novi, well, Novi's 9-0 because they didn't play that 10th game. From the 37, 1st and 10 for Ramona. Hillcrest on the board at 7-6. Bruins right up the gut. Bruins to midfield. Cuts to the outside. Nice block down the field by Valenzuela. They'll bring him down at about the 12-yard line. So a 50-yard run for Bo Bruins. It was only a matter of time. Remember, he had that big one to start off against Norte Vista, and they flipped the field on that one. So they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 after the 50-yard run by Bruins. Johnson to throw. Looking to the left side. Incomplete. He was looking over the middle for Mendoza. On the coverage was Levi Murkey for Hillcrest. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
How excited can you be, though, if you're Ramona? You have your entire backfield back next year.
You do. Quarterback and the running back, and I think you got most of your linemen back. I think Lopez, well, you lose Wiley and Lopez, but 3/5 of the offensive line back for Ramona. Second down coming up. Here's Bruins up the middle. Runs through Gabe Luna. Breaks a second tackle, still on his feet. Still dragging tacklers. They'll whistle him down. Looks like they're going to give him the 6-yard line.
And I don't think we're going to have any transfer issues with Ramona with the quarterback. Unless
yeah, I understand Coach Mashinsky and his mom are pretty tight.
They're pretty tight.
From what I understand.
I don't think there'll be a parent issue there. I think he's good to go for next year.
So nice to meet Jennifer Mashinsky before the game, you know. Always nice to people to
You know
say
what, I'm going to
hello.
be honest. She was adorable.
She's very pleasant, and most people aren't pleasant with us because we just have to say things,
Yeah,
you know.
she was very, very pleasant. And like you said, he outkicked his coverage.
3rd and 3. Bruins tries the middle. Down he goes. Inside the 5. Making the tackle, Trey Williams on the play. And it'll be 1st and goal. They'll set it up at the 3-yard line. So just like that, Bruins 72 yards on 8 carries. 1st and goal for Ramona here in the second quarter. They already lead 7-6. Luis Villarreal checks in. Split back formation. Here's the give to Bruins, running right, and he is in. Touchdown, Ramona. So Bruins totes it in again. The 50-yard run set it up for him, Jeff. And then a couple plays later, he takes it to pay dirt.
So both teams now kind of getting their stride. Ramona's the run game really strong here in this as we start the second quarter.
So Bruins with a 3-yard run, a drive that started back at the 10-yard line after the kick. Conrado puts it through. Actually, I'm wrong. It started at the 37. He had the big 50-yard run. That's right. He brought it down towards the 10. And the kicker could be a decisive factor in this one.
Kickers are always the most underappreciated player in the game.
So hopefully maybe JR can find out what's going on with Daniel Biondo, why he hasn't been kicking. 14-6 after the touchdown. The 3-yard run by Bruins at 8:47 here in the second quarter. I'm Gazal, he's Jeff. JR on the sideline. Week 10 in the River Valley League, the playoffs on the line, and you can tell how focused the Rams are, Jeff.
Oh, they have to be. I mean, a lot can happen. We saw a few years ago,
2017,
Yeah,
5-way tie.
they didn't make the playoffs.
Oh, that was 2016.
That was 2016.
That was under Vinny Fazio. They went 7-2-1 and were left out. How about that? Conrado with the line drive kick. Rodriguez picks it up at the 11. Weaving to the outside, puts his head down, and gets over the 20 to the 21-yard line. And that's where Hillcrest will start it off. Diego Rodriguez on the run. I believe that was Desmond Watkins on the tackle for Ramona. And here we go. So Hillcrest, they're on the board, so they can breathe easy after being shut out the last 2 weeks. And now you have an opportunity. And remember, they won the toss and deferred. Ramona started the game with the ball. Hillcrest gets it to start the second half. So a nice drive here would be great for Travis Carter. Johnson looking down the field. Incomplete. Nearly grabbed. That was Jaden Bishop.
And a flag on the play, though.
Trying to find our white hat. There's Tim Watt. And he's going to call holding on the defense.
Wow.
Just the second penalty on the Rams. That was been assessed. Remember, we had a couple penalties that were declined and a couple that were offset. So ball moves up to the 31-yard line, 1st and 10. Throw to the outside to Bishop, and he is dropped down. The first man to him was Joseph Soto, and then Dejon Campbell also helped clean it up. So maybe a yard gain on that throw and catch. So Bishop with the reception. He had a big one last week against Norte Vista, for Hillcrest, against Norte Vista. Second down and 9 coming up. Norwood to the top of your screen. Here's the give up the middle to Klein, and nothing doing. Let me tell you something. Those big boys in the middle, Horton gets up from the bottom of the pile, as does Castaneda. So Javier Castaneda teaming with Nathan Horton as they meet at the running back. Matthew Klein on the play. Nominal gain brings up third down. They had their best success with Klein on that little screen pass, Jeff.
Yes, they did.
3rd and 9 from the 21. Play action. Here's the throw. What a catch. First down at the 45-yard line. Jaden Bishop snares it for about a 12-yard gain.
Just great timing on the play. Great fake handoff and a perfect strike right in front of the receiver. Just enough to get that first down.
1st and 10 from the 45. Hillcrest moving the ball. Second quarter, they trail 14-6. The end around the fake. And here's the give to Klein, running just between the tackles. He'll burrow up to midfield. Tackle on the play made by Karan Baldwin. He got some help from Christian Martinez, but booked 5 more yards for Klein on the run.
Klein time.
Two by two for Hillcrest. Bottom of the screen is Norwood, but they'll throw to the top and complete up to the 40-yard line. Another 15-yard play. That's Jaden Bishop again.
Hillcrest on the move. Like you said, getting the ball in the second half. This could be a big drive. They can eat some clock up, score on this play, and they or on this drive, then get the ball back. They could be in the driver's seat going into halftime.
Quick throw for Dominguez out to Bishop at the 45-yard line. That's about where he'll be thrown down. Another completion for Caleb Dominguez. And the directive seems to be just get rid of the ball quickly.
Yes.
They figured out that, hey, we throw it quickly. Our guys are open. We need to get the ball in our playmakers' hands. And in this case, it's been Jaden Bishop. They move it up 2nd and 5 from the 35 of Ramona. So Bishop to the top of your screen, to the bottom of your screen, Norwood. Abdurrahman and Zabados both in the pattern, and a penalty called on Ramona. They'll move it up 5 yards to the 31. Third penalty on the Rams. So Daniel Deonda, obviously something acting up with an injury. He's not been kicking, and he's not on the field as a wide receiver. I hope he's okay. 2nd down and short. Dominguez trying to cape it. What a job by Manny Alvarez. Manuel Rey Alvarez sniffed that out all the way and stops him for a loss back at the 34-yard line.
That was a huge play with only really about a foot to get that first down. Great blitz here and huge tackle.
So big 3rd down coming up. Need to get to the 31-yard line. About a 3rd and 4 for Hillcrest. 3 receivers to the near side. To the bottom of your screen is Nehemiah Norwood, and here comes some laundry. Line judge will pick up the flag, so no penalty. They didn't want him to run the play. They're waiting on the clock. 3rd down and 4. Play action. Here's the throw over the middle. Picked off. Michael Michaelides, man on the spot off the deflection. The incomplete pass deflected to the linebacker who picks it off, and a turnover. That's big. Big play at 5:02 here in the second quarter with Hillcrest driving on the deflection. And then look at it. Or maybe not. Here we go.
That ball bounced right off his chest.
Just a bullet and deflected. And now 1st and 10 from the 21 for the Rams. The Rams on the season, Jeff, they've specialized in building leads. Johnson thrown to the outside to Shiner. Shiner breaks loose, steps out of bounds just inside the 40.
And there's more Shiners on the way. There's twin boys that are freshman superstars. I met them before the game. We have Shiners forever. They got the mom is the softball coach.
20 yards on that play to Zach Shiner. He was a member of that 2019 CIF finalist team. Actually, he played the last time in 2019 against Hillcrest, had a reception for 7 yards in that game. Up the middle, Bruin spun around, still on his feet, trying to twist to the outside. turns the edge into Hillcrest territory and finally flung down on the outside. Finally, Trey Williams makes the tackle. He goes all the way to the 41-yard line of Hillcrest. So an 18-yard pickup by Bruins. He looked dead to rights, Jeff.
He was covered in butter. He eluded so many tackles, pirouetted like a ballerina, and ran tough down the sideline.
Yeah, just great vision and balance and toughness for the junior running back. So 1st and 10, Ramona from the 41. They lead this one 14-6. Time for a stand for the Hillcrest defense. Lots of time for Johnson. Looking deep. He's got Shiner at the 10. Tackled inside the 5. Williams and Murgy combine on that one. A 38-yard completion from Johnson to Shiner.
I say let Shiner run it in. Guy's been a workhorse on this drive. Mush, give it to him. It's senior night, for God's sakes. Give the guy the touchdown. See if he listens to me. Come on, Mush.
So they'll mark it at the 2-yard line, so officially 39 yards, 1st and goal. And a timeout on the field. Hillcrest taking a timeout. We've seen Hillcrest, Jeff, in the games we've seen them, even against Novi last week, the defense has looked pretty good. They've looked pretty much in rhythm. Not the case so far. Now, part of it is Ramona. Ramona doing a good job mixing things up, but that's a pretty good defensive unit. Ahmad Noor getting them in a huddle and trying to figure some things out, as they've already given up 14 points here in the first half. But I think what upsets him maybe is some of the big plays.
And it has just been those things. It's been big play after big play. Shiner twice in just this drive alone. Bruins with a huge run. And they've really peppered the quarterback has really thrown the ball all over the field. It was very, very good here in the first half, throwing the ball in the middle of the field, but went outside on this last play.
Talked to Travis Carter after the game against Arlington, and they weren't happy. Neither he nor Coach Noor were happy with the tackling. We saw them last week. They were actually pretty short tackling. I mean, you're playing Jesse Carvajal and Eddie Elaine. You better wrap up. And they had a couple of lapses. The 91-yard run, obviously you didn't get it done there. But for the most part, they were tackling pretty well last week. 1st and goal from the 2. Villarreal moving to the outside. Touchdown, Ramona. Luis Villarreal with a touchdown. (20-6) at 4:26 here in the second quarter. Jeff, how about that one?
What a great play. I mean, they're all looking for Bruins, and there you go, give it to Villarreal. I mean, nobody touches him. He's a little pocket back. We've had a few of those guys. Remember, was it Dante Roby?
Dante Roby. Yeah.
Little guys, little pocket back.
Conrado. And like Elvis Costello, his aim is true right through the uprights, and it's 21-6, and this has been the modus operandi for Ramona. Coming into the game tonight, they've averaged a 29-7 lead, or almost 30-7 lead at the half. They were up 28-13 last week. The only game they weren't up at the half was the game they lost against Novi, and that was fairly close, Jeff, as we get a look at the Luis Villarreal touchdown.
Yeah, what a great year, though, from the teams in the River Valley League. Who would have thought Arlington, in their first-year head coach, comes out and possibly might make a playoff run.
It's in their hands. They win tonight, they will secure that third spot, that third automatic qualifier spot.
I don't know if you are noticing over in the end zone, there's people on swings, and looks like somebody's in a cocoon.
It's senior night here. It's everything, anything goes.
It's like Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus over there.
Back to the 5-yard line. This is Diego Rodriguez over the 20. Stopped at the 25-yard line, and Hillcrest will tee it up. Tackle on the play, Desmond Watkins for Ramona, and 1st and 10 for the Trojans. So this is a big drive for the Trojans. You don't want to panic. You're down 21-6. You got 4:18 to play. You need points here.
You got to score. You have to, and you can't give it up. Back to Ramona. Ramona could be in good field position if they make a stop here. This could really, really hurt Hillcrest.
So Travis Carter, now we know he likes the trick plays. Let's see what they're doing. Trey Williams split out to the near side. Norwood is flexed out. He's the first man nearest to you on the far side of that trips formation. Here's the comeback to Williams, and right on him and dropping him is Joseph Soto. Soto saw that play immediately as it began to develop, and he dropped Williams in his tracks for a loss.
Hillcrest has to do something here. You can't give Ramona another opportunity.
So a 1-yard loss on the play, 2nd and 11 from the 24 for Hillcrest. Klein the lone setback. Norwood in the near slot, split out to the bottom of your screen, Trey Williams. Zabados in the far slot to the top of your screen, Jaden Bishop. Play action. Zabados in the slot, makes the catch, dropped at about the 36. It'll be enough for the first down.
That'll give him at least another 3 downs here. Got to chew up that clock. Cannot give Ramona, like I said, a second opportunity here.
3rd catch on the game for Zabados. 18 yards on 3 catches. And Dominguez throwing well today. He's 12 of 14 I have him unofficially through the air. 1st and 10 line is the 36. The throw over the middle incomplete, intended for Nehemiah Norwood. He's their playmaker. They want to get the ball in his hands. Just a sophomore, he's got some upside. I was talking to Travis Carter yesterday, actually, and I said to him, it's going to sound funny to you, but I was very impressed with Caleb Dominguez last Friday against Novi in the sense that he's able to stand against that defense. His numbers weren't great, but he stood in against that defense for 4 quarters and didn't seem shaken at all by him. I mean, the numbers weren't great. He wasn't completing passes because they were covered, but he didn't seem rattled at all. Dominguez thrown to the outside, and it's intercepted. That's Joseph Soto. Soto, pick 6. Ramona with a touchdown, and the Rams getting people excited.
I think this is coming back, though.
Oh, it's all coming back.
Blocking it back. In fact, it was real obvious. Just let him go. There's no one going to catch him.
I didn't even see the flag. It must have been on the return, so they'll have the ball, but it was just no touchdown. So block in the back, and it's a first down, Ramona. So Ramona will get the ball at the 20-yard line. And just as I compliment Caleb Dominguez, he throws the interception. Broadcaster jinx in effect. So a pick by Hillcrest and now a pick by Ramona. .259 of the second quarter. And this could be big for the Rams, Jeff. They already lead 21-6, make it a 3-score game. So here's Johnson. Here's the give up the middle to Bruins. Next stop, pay dirt. Touchdown, Bo Bruins. 20-yard touchdown run, and it's 27-6 in favor of the home team.
And just like that, we just talked about it. Couldn't give it back to them. They are very dangerous tonight on offense. Can't give them any second chances.
So Bruins his second touchdown run on the evening. The PAT good from Coronado. 11 carries for Bruins, Jeff. He's got 110 yards and the 2 touchdowns, averaging 10 yards a pop, and Ramona very much in control of this one at the half, 28-6.
Playing great football. I mean, you've got to be happy. A lot of injuries on this Ramona team. And, they needed to win this game. And so far they've come out pretty darn good. I mean, a lot of teams in Riverside that we've covered, they have opportunities to go pretty deep in the playoffs if they can get in, is the question, because they're going to be at all different levels.
Right.
All different divisions, I should say.
As I was doing the projection, I think Novi, with what they've done, they're probably a Division 6 right there. I think if Ramona can hold on here, they're probably about a Division 8, maybe a top 4 seed in Division 8. And here's the kickoff. Williams back to the 2. for Hillcrest, weaving at the 25-yard line. And he stood up right there at the 25, driven back and dropped. Isaac Guerrero making the tackle for Ramona. And it's a long hill to climb for Hillcrest, but they still have time. They still have 27 minutes or so to try to make something happen. You saw turnovers kind of turn the game. If they can force a couple on defense. But the key here is, like we were talking about earlier, you need points now.
And they haven't. Like I said, this is the first points they've had in 3 games.
Yeah.
And that's got to do something to the psyche of the players. They have to think, we have to get going here. We've got to put up some points. And they just haven't done so in the last few games.
1st and 10 from the 25. Here's the throw. Complete to Zabados. Nice catch by him. And he gets up to the 39-yard line. Another completion, 14-yard pickup on the play. And Dominguez just continues his game. Of course, the interception kind of messed it up a little bit, but he's been able to throw pretty well in rhythm. And the big boys up front doing a nice job giving him time to throw the football. Talking about Luis Rodriguez-Torres, Jacob Hernandez, Christian Benitez, Daniel Smith, and Isaac Antolin. 1st down. Alvarez there, but getting away from him is Dominguez. Throws it down the field. Complete to Norwood at midfield. And the tackle by Joseph Soto. Another 1st down, move the sticks.
Like you said, he's got great poise in that backfield. Able to elude guys, still holding his composure. Makes a nice, smart play by the quarterback.
We saw them in the spring, Jeff, and he was playing wide receiver.
That's right.
So they had kind of a crash course to have him learn to play quarterback. Usually in that situation, you'd have him get some snaps. He had no snaps at quarterback in the spring. Cameron Payne did most of the quarterbacking as there's a timeout on the field with an injury. Our score here, Ramona 28 and Hillcrest 6. But I've been impressed. Caleb Dominguez's older brother Elijah played on that 2017 team. It was like thunder and lightning with him and Cordell Labrie. Remember they split, put Cordell Labrie on one side and Elijah Dominguez on the other, and they were both home run hitters. They both had big touchdowns in that classic playoff game against Arcadia that Hillcrest ultimately lost. They went up 20-0 and ended up losing 21. It was just a thriller of a game, though. We got to call that one together. So the second generation of the Dominguez, or I guess same generation, but just the younger brother.
Hopefully we get to call some playoff games here next week.
Yeah. Well, North and Novi are in.
For sure.
And then I think, obviously if Ramona wins, they'd be in. So from the 49 of Ramona, here's Hillcrest back to the line of scrimmage. Dominguez to throw, looking to the outside, incomplete. Intended receiver was Matthew Klein. On the coverage for Ramona, Joseph Soto. So Dominguez with that incompletion, 14 of 18 through the air. ...168 yards. He'll throw again. Complete. Did he stay in bounds? And he did. The catch at the 42-yard line, very close to a 1st down. Making the catch on the play, Abdur Rahim. Yunus Abdul Rahman, excuse me, not Abdul Rahim, Abdul Rahman. I was looking at something about the Vancouver Grizzlies. Remember Sharif Abdul Rahim?
I do.
Who played at Cal? You might have been there with him, or maybe he was out a little bit after your time.
But I also remember Abdul Rahman.
That's right. We talked about that the other week. 8-yard completion, 3rd and 2. Dominguez looking at Klein. Instead, this is Zabados for the 1st down. And Zabados with more, right up the middle, to the 25, to the 10, to the 5, and he's dragged down inside the 5-yard line, making the tackle, Brenton Herbin. And it's 1st and goal for Hillcrest.
So a huge play here, Gasol. If they can score, they're going to get the ball back. They could be right back in this ball game at the start of the second half.
Little swinging gate action and all this confusion. That was a 39-yard game. So Zabados now with 5 catches, 71 yards, and it's 1st and goal for Hillcrest. So Travis Carter went deep into his bag of tricks. And now here's Hillcrest knocking on the door. Klein right up the middle. Swerves to the right side. Touchdown, Hillcrest. So Klein swims his way into the end zone with 1:15 left here in the second quarter. And that was a big drive for this Hillcrest season, Jeffrey.
A huge one. I mean, they've scored the football. They've moved it well. They just made a couple little mistakes here in the first half. But you wouldn't know it by watching this game that they haven't scored in a few weeks. So they called timeout. Hey, Cazal, I got to ask you. You know, we got the All Hallows Eve coming up on Sunday.
We do.
Are you going to dress up?
I will be wearing clothes. I'm not a big dress-up guy.
You're not?
I'm not. You know, I was thinking a couple of years ago, I was like, I should just buy one of those orange jumpsuits, one of the costume shops, and I can just wear that every year on Halloween. You know, It's got orange, I'm not much of a dresser-upper. I don't know why.
No.
Yeah. When I was a kid, when I was a child, I'd always try to come up with the most creative costume I could.
Really?
When I was in 6th grade, I think I won a costume contest. I built a Rubik's Cube.
You did?
And I was a Rubik's Cube for Halloween.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I remember my dad built me a robot. Or as they would say back east, a robot.
Robots.
I was a robot, and it was made out of wood, and I couldn't bend my arms or legs, and I was a
You're like
sweaty
the
mess.
Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz.
Exactly who I was.
Travis Carter will elect to go for 2. Dominguez rolling right. Here comes Castaneda. He'll throw to the corner. He was looking for Norwood, and it'll be incomplete. And the 2-point conversion fails, so 28-12, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, rough from the passer, so we're going to get the play again.
This is where you go to the Ken Batdorf playbook. I think you just line up double wing and just give it to Klein.
Exactly. Ken Batdorf, he's right around he's hovering at 199.
So it would be.
Yeah, you wouldn't get 200.
190. You're right, 199, because it would have been 198 last week and then 199. Yeah.
But if he gets 200, is it like Y2K? Does something happen?
I don't know. That's very good. That's a good question.
Because I don't know many coaches.
No. I think he's short. I think the win yesterday was 198. So he'd need to get 2 wins in the playoffs, 499. Right up the middle, and they're saying no, that the conversion failed.
And another penalty. Never mind. It's against Hillcrest.
So the 2-point conversion fails. So we'll get a look at the touchdown. This is the handoff to Klein, running just on the right side of the line, running over Daniel Smith and Isaac Antolin.
Yeah, but my favorite costume, though, was a couple of years ago when Little Luke was Little Richard Simmons.
I always told
just
you,
Richard Simmons.
I always told you that the funniest would be you and young Luke. You be Paul Simon, and he be Art Garfunkel because he has the hair.
He definitely.
I think he cut the hair though.
Yeah, you know what? The wife cut the hair during the pandemic. She saw, and then it didn't come back as curly.
Oh, okay. It'll get curly again.
It better. But yeah, when he was Richard Simmons was my favorite costume ever. This year he's a ghoul, my 4-year-old ghoul.
The Lukester. What about Fast Johnny this year? Here's the kickoff.
Fast Johnny is the Grim Reaper.
Karan Baldwin picks it up for Ramona, and not much help there. He'll go down at about the 20-yard line. Sorry, give me what was Fast Johnny again?
He is going to be the Grim Reaper.
Really?
Yeah, and he has the big staff like he's on the River Styx.
We should do the Grim Reaper's a little different.
Yeah,
I was hoping if he wanted to ever dress up as the ghost of Christmas yet to come, we could do the thing with him in Batdorf.
Batdorf, he gets visited by ghosts all the time.
Yeah, what we do is he dresses up as the ghost yet to come. We pull a football jersey on him of some famous
awesome.
wide receiver, and then pass the ball, Ken. Pass the ball.
Pass. Just stand there, pass, with chains.
From the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 for Ramona. Here's an opportunity for the defense or Hillcrest. Can they get it back? 28-12. Here's the handoff to Bruins. Right up the middle, right into the hands of Wyatt Scroggins, who pulls him down. Maybe a yard on the play for Bo Bruins. Already over 100 yards, 111 yards on 12 carries unofficially, and clock continues to run. They'll exhaust the first half, will the Rams. Hillcrest to get the ball in the second half. And the big turn in the game was a turnover. It was a 21-6 game, and then a turnover converted into a touchdown as Johnson throws and complete. And how about Royce Mendoza stepping in for Jordan Daniels as a timeout called by Ken Mashinsky. The ball complete up to the 30-yard line, so an 8-yard pickup on the play. for Nathan Johnson, who's got throwing the ball pretty well. He's 7 for 11 through the air.
Now back on the Halloween train here. What's your favorite candy?
I'm an old school guy. I'm Snickers. I'm a Snickers guy. But in my old age, what I'm liking? I'm liking the classic, the Hershey's with almonds for whatever reason.
Look at you.
Yeah. I had a friend, and she was anti-chocolate. I'm like, how can you be anti-chocolate? And she said, no.
Is she communist or what?
No, she said, the problem with chocolate, it was anti-almond. She said, the problem I have with almonds, whenever I eat them, there's chocolate wrapped around them. No, she wasn't. She was anti-almond. That was the discussion. But she, but yeah. So yeah, I've become that guy. I like a Mr. Goodbar.
Oh.
I'm a Snickers guy. From a childhood. But in my old age now, Jeffrey, I'm becoming a Hershey's with almonds type of guy.
I'm going to bring you Hershey's with almond next week.
How about yourself? What's your candy?
Well, I like the sweet stuff now. I used to love chocolate. Now I like the Sour Patch Kids and stuff.
3rd and 1. The give to Bruins, a first down and more. Bruins sweeps up to midfield. He's upended at midfield by Trey Williams. Juan Caillas was chasing him as well. A 20-yard run for Bruins and another timeout on the field as a player is down.
But I like, like Abba Zabbas.
Okay.
I'm still a huge fan of like Sugar Baby, Sugar Daddies, anything with.
It's like because the exotic from the exotic candies. I was a big Charleston Chew guy for many years.
Remember Black Cows?
Oh, of course.
Great.
From the 47, a 1st and 10. Johnson looking downfield. He's got a man incomplete. He was looking for Valenzuela, who was in on coverage. Prado there along with Williams.
Do you like Mounds or Almond Joy? Please say.
I like them both.
You do?
I like them both.
I have a hard time. It's a weird taste.
It's like Russian dressing. It's right place at right time, right? Yeah. There are days. There are days I'll go to the grocery store, and you know what? Let me grab a Mounds. I'll have those days. Maybe one day out of the year. Maybe 2 days out of the year tops.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't. From the 47, 2nd and 10 coming up for the Rams. So they're still going for it. Johnson to throw. Trying to dump it off to Bruins, incomplete. A couple of big boys bearing down on him.
How about Chunky?
I haven't had a Chunky in a long time. I used to like those. Yeah. If I got those in my Halloween bag, I wasn't disappointed.
Did you trade? Did you ever trade candy with?
All the time. My brother's a year younger than me. Of course, we traded. My brother would hoard Reese's cups.
Oh,
that was his thing.
Reese's is probably my favorite of all. I forgot about it. That's my favorite of all time.
3rd and 10. Here's the give. No, the fake. This is Mendoza, and he can't hold on to it. Incomplete. 4th down. Royce Mendoza. What a great game he's had. Had the drop there, but 3 catches for 34 yards. Stepping in for Jordan Daniel, the young sophomore, and now Ramona will punt.
I got Coach Batdorf just said no more candy. He's going crazy right now. Don't talk about candy.
Okay, we'll move on to fried chicken. No, we're kidding. We're kidding.
Move on to
chicken tenders. What do you like? Cane's?
Lettuce. I'd like a quadruple, or what do you call it, a quad at
That's right.
In-N-Out.
You guys are into the lettuce wrap burgers.
No, he's not. He's into the lettuce wrap burgers, but he'll get like 4 burgers and wrap it in lettuce and cheese and Russian dressing.
Conrado has been a valuable player this year for Ramona as the punt goes down inside the 20. It'll roll dead at about the 4-yard line. So a good punt. About a 43-yard kick, and Hillcrest starts in the shadow of their goalpost. Conrado has been great. He has not missed a PAT, and that is his 4th punt on the night. 45, 31, 42, and 43. What a job he's done for Ram High.
Give that guy the MVP. Always. Kickers, punters.
Yeah. Want to shout out Marshall Mason. He's the special teams coach for the Rams. Doing a great job with their kicking game. We've seen this year, Jeff, how valuable the kicking game can be. And with literally a second left, Hillcrest will just kneel down. And that'll be it. That'll be the end of the first half. 28-12 in favor of Ramona. Hillcrest gets the ball coming out in the second half. What'd you like? What did you not like here in the first half, Jeffrey?
Well, I thought it was a entertaining game to watch. I mean, Ramona was lights out on offense, but Hillcrest showed some toughness, and Hillcrest other than a couple mistakes by turning the ball over, they look pretty darn good.
Hillcrest really threw the ball. No Jalen Bailey tonight. Matthew Klein had a couple of nice runs. He had that nice screen pass, but they've really been throwing the ball. They put the ball on the senior's shoulders, Kayla Dominguez, and he has responded well in the first half unofficially. I have him at 14 of 19. We're awaiting Ken Mashinsky. He's going to talk with J.R. Ibarra down on the field. When we get him, we'll throw it down there. What would you do? What do you tell, if you're Travis Carter, what are you telling Hillcrest at the half, Jeff?
Hey, I'd go right at the quarterback. I'd say we're going to make him throw passes. We need to get the ball back. You just have to make stops. So
we got Ken Mashinsky standing by with J.R. Ibarra. Gentlemen, take it away.
Ken, how would you assess that first half?
Well, offensively, we were able to do some good things, put some points on the board. Our defense got some good stops, but this Hillcrest team is just not going to give up. Right now we're playing good football, but we're just not playing smart football, and we need to talk about that right now at halftime and just do the right things right. Hillcrest is in the same situation as we're in. We both need a win, and this is going to be a great second half.
The turnovers have been kind of key for you guys.
Turnovers have been great. 2 interceptions. A dumb penalty down there on the return, but we were able to punch it in. Hopefully we get a couple more. We just need to go out and keep fighting.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get in.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll send it back up top to you guys.
Hey, JR, thanks a lot. That's Ken Mashinsky. His team leads 28-12 here at the half. We'll step out for a moment. It is senior night tonight. It is the River Valley League finale between Ramona and Hillcrest here at Ramona High School. Here is the Ramona Marching Band on the field. We'll step out for a moment. We'll come back and reset the game for you and bring you the second half momentarily. 28-12, the score here at the half. It's the CIF on Riverside TV. We're back.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main Cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431. And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the city of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I want to too because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be it's perfect.
Today is our very first building of a Little Free Pantry. We are building a Little Free Pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a Little Free Pantry in their neighborhood.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431. And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture, mattress, and appliance. The residents, they have 2 times a year, and these items, I put it in the back of the packer, and the packer crashes and compact these items so I can take it to the dump. My favorite part of the job is driving the truck. Since I was younger, my dream was to be a driver. And now that the City of Riverside gave me this opportunity, I really enjoy it. I'm really proud of what I do because when I go to the residents' houses, I see the faces, they're happy because we're picking up the items they don't want anymore. So I try to get in here because this is a better job for me with a better stability. And I wanted to because I want to set a good example for my 2 daughters that I have. One of my hobbies that I have is go hiking. I like the outside activities like camping, and I also enjoy riding motorcycles. If I have to describe my job in one word, it will be perfect.
Today is our very first building of a little free pantry. We are building a little free pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other, instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a little free pantry in their neighborhood.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431. And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
The Riverside County Transportation Commission has partnered with California Operation Lifesaver to educate Riverside County residents about how to be safe around trains and railroad tracks. Here are 3 safety facts you need to know. First, trespassing on train tracks is not only dangerous and can lead to serious injury, it is also illegal. Second, you may not always be able to hear a train coming, which is why it's important to always stay off and away from tracks. And finally, it can take a train up to a mile to come to a complete stop. If an object or person is on the tracks and the train can't stop in time, unfortunately, a collision may occur. Now that you're the expert, you can help us spread the word by sharing these important safety messages with your friends and family. We thank you for practicing rail safety.
We are proud of the Riverside Police Department's tradition of integrity, service, and excellence. RPD officers are disciplined, well-trained professionals who always lean forward to make our community safer and more livable. We are always looking for mature, educated men and women who want to apply their courage and judgment to serve the people of Riverside. If that's who you are, we want to talk to you.
My name is Melissa Olmos, and I'm a driver operator in the Department of Refuse for the City of Riverside, and I've been doing this for 4 months already. I really enjoy it because this job is not like a routine, so every day is different. So I'm assigned to do the bookings. The residents call to the city to be serviced, and these items is large furniture,
Coach, looking at the second half, what do you guys got to do?
Well, offensively, we got to not put our defense in some bad spots there, field position-wise. Just kind of defensively, back to fundamentals, with our run fits and tackling, and then offensively, we're going to have to score and, fight and scratch our way back in this.
Seems like in the first quarter you were able to contain Bruins pretty well. Will that be part of your strategy here for the second half?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's tough to do. He's a hell of a player, but yeah, we're trying to stop him. But yeah, they got a lot of weapons everywhere, so it's going to be a battle, but we're going to keep fighting and get after it for 2 more quarters.
Great, thanks for your time, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Second half about to get underway. Great performance, by the way, at the half by the Ramona band. They were doing The Greatest Showman.
It was a show. It was like Cirque du Soleil out here. They had what are the fabric things they could, where you climb on fabric and you spin around. I don't know.
They'll kick deep, and it's going to be brought back by Trey Williams. Williams weaving to the 20, trying to stay on his feet and pulled down. Manuel Rey Alvarez, was out there on the play. So from the 25-yard line, and Travis Carter really summed it up. He's like, "Hey, we're in a fight. We got to fight." And it was interesting because he just talked about the fundamental stuff. We got to tackle, we got to block, we got to just go back to the fundamental stuff and get in this game. His quarterback has been keeping it in it though. Great first half for Caleb Dominguez.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. Like I said, great poise in the pocket and just
15 of 19 through the air for 205 yards and the touchdown. His team trails 28-12. He's had command of the huddle. From the 25, throwing. Complete to Abdul Rahman, but right there to make the tackle for Ramona is Christian Martinez. So complete, but not much of a gain.
But it's a start here. I'll tell you what. They ended that half pretty well there until that last play where they had to gave it up, but a lot better offensively, not as anemic as we've seen.
5-yard pickup on the play, so a pretty good pickup on first down. And 2nd and 5, he'll throw it again. He's lofting it up for Zabados, and what a catch by Zabados, spinning on the one-on-one coverage against Michael Michaelides. Michaelides had good coverage. He was face guarding, didn't want to make contact. Zabados saw the ball before he did and reeled it in. Nice completion all the way to the Ramona 40-yard line. That's a 30-yard pickup on the play.
And Zabados was great in that first half, and he's coming out strong here in the second.
And right up the middle, running hard is Matthew Klein, and he's ridden down at the 25-yard line. 15 yards for him, so the middle of that offensive line firing off for Hillcrest here in the second half. Here's the run to the inside again. That was Klein, I believe. Back to the line of scrimmage, second down coming up.
Well, Travis definitely found something he liked. They were able to run the football here early on.
Well, they got the matchup. Big Christian Benitez. I haven't seen Marcus Perez in there, so I wonder if that might be an injury situation. They're running right behind Benitez. Here's the throw to the outside, incomplete. One-on-one coverage. Here comes the flag. They were looking for Norwood. On the coverage was Brenton Herbin. Remember, he's filling in for Nicky Chavez. We saw for a couple plays, but I guess he probably not 100%, and the flag comes in. I would guess that's some kind of defensive penalty, Jeff.
Yeah, it's going to have to be pass interference because he did hit him before he actually caught the football.
So Tim Watt makes the call. It is the pass interference call. Half the distance will go to the 13-yard line. Just the fourth penalty. Been a pretty clean game. Fourth penalty on Ramona. 32 yards in penalties. And first down at the 13-yard line. And whistles and confusion. And a flag comes in. A false start on Hillcrest there. So Tim Watt giveth. Tim Watt taketh away. Second assessed penalty on Hillcrest. They've had two penalties for 10 yards. So move the ball back to the 18-yard line. First down will be inside the 5 at about the 4. So instead, it's still first down because of the penalty. Here comes pressure. They dump it off, and immediately blowing it up on the play is Desmond Watkins, complete to Klein. So 17 of 22 through the air is Caleb Dominguez. He's having a good game as far as his completion percentage. Second down. Bishop to the top of your screen. The bottom of your screen is Norwood. In the near slot, Zabados. He's got 101 receiving yards on 6 catches already. Dominguez, here comes the pressure. Thrown to the outside, complete, but right there to blow it up to Klein. That's Brenton Herbin making up for that pass interference penalty earlier. A couple of yards on that play.
Great tackle there by that young man.
You know they're coached well on that, Jeff. Since you and I have been covering, as we get another look at it, since you and I have been covering Ramona, they're a pretty sure-handed tackling team. They're a good tackling team. 3rd down. Had Zabados. He'll go down the field, wide open down the field as Abdul Rahman couldn't quite get there. Incomplete 4th down.
But you have to like what you saw there. I mean, there's openings. They're seeing something that they figured out at halftime.
Well, that's the same play I believe they scored on in the first half to Trey Williams. Good throw. 4th down coming up. Zabados and Williams to the top of your screen. Norwood to the bottom of your screen. In the near slot, Abdurrahman. Pressure. Getting out of it is Dominguez. Wriggles off the hook. He's got a man down the field. Touchdown. Did he hold it? He did. Touchdown, Hillcrest. What a play on 4th down. And we've talked all night about Caleb Dominguez. What poise he has shown. Jaden Bishop reels it in for the touchdown for Hillcrest. But Caleb Dominguez making the big play when his team needs him.
I'll tell you what, he took on the head-on traffic, evaded everybody, and found the open man. I mean, it was just a perfect strike. Great read from that young quarterback.
Bishop with his 5th catch, and they're going to go for 2. Dominguez over the middle. Incomplete. So 28-18, still a 2-score game. But the important thing for Hillcrest, they got the touchdown. Look at Dominguez on this play. Buying time under pressure, whips it down the field, and he finds Bishop in the back of the end zone, and a nice catch by Jaden Bishop.
Fun game here at Riverside.
So now it's on the defense for Hillcrest. Ahmad Noor's unit has been torn up a little bit by this Ramona offense, but they've been off the field for a little bit. Let's see what they can do in this first opportunity. We still don't have any word on Daniel Deanda, the kicker, and the wide receiver. So Jeremiah Martinez on the kickoff for Hillcrest. Bruins back deep to receive along with Jake Valenzuela. Their heels are at about the 14-yard line. Martinez with the pooch kick. It's going to bounce out inside the 30. Ball comes out to the 35, and that's where Ramona will start it up. Second touchdown pass for Dominguez tonight. So from the 35, it's a 1st and 10. 2-by-2 for Ramona. Quick throw to the outside, complete. Making the tackle on the play was Jonathan Prado, complete to Royce Mendoza, and Mendoza's having a nice game.
Yeah, he definitely has made himself known here for Ramona.
Let it be known, then.
Let it be known.
4th catch for Mendoza, 42 yards, 8 yards on the play, 2nd and 2 for the Rams from the 43. Here's the give. No, it's going to be Johnson keeping it 1st down and more into Hillcrest territory, finally pulled down by Trey Williams at about the 41-yard line. So about a 17-yard scamper for the quarterback, Nathan Johnson, picking his spot there.
Everybody thought Bruins had the ball. In fact, I did as well. Great fake from the young quarterback of Ram High.
The 42-yard line of Hillcrest. Valenzuela to the top of your screen. Villa to the bottom of your screen in the near slot, Zach Shiner for Ramona. Time for Johnson. He's thrown to the outside, looking for Shiner. Incomplete. On the coverage, Diego Rodriguez for Hillcrest. 2nd and 10 upcoming. Johnson now 7 of 13 through the air for 102 yards and a touchdown. Junior quarterback stepping in for Ramona. Mendoza in the far slot. Shiner in the near slot. Split out to the top of your screen. That's Jake Valenzuela. Here comes the pressure. The screen underneath, complete to Bruins. Bruins 35-30 into the open field. Touchdown, Ramona. Flag on the play, so let's see what the call is first. Tim Watt will tell us illegal man downfield. And it's all coming back.
Oh, man. Bruins, great run, great breakaway speed. Nobody was going to catch him on that one.
I guess it was 2 fouls, so it's illegal man and an illegal use of hands. So they'll back it off 10 yards. Just the 3rd penalty on Ramona, but comes at a kind of a crucial time.
That's 2 touchdowns that have been called back.
That's a reprieve for the defense. For Hillcrest. And, you know, Ahmad Noor's unit, we've seen them. They've been pretty good, but Ramona has been doing a nice job. Of course, they put up the 28 points in the first half, which is about their average, just below their average. They were at nearly 30. Play action. Here's the throw to the outside to Shiner. He can't scoop it up. Incomplete, 3rd down.
But another great play fake from the quarterback to Bruins. Everybody thought the ball was with Bruins' hands. Just missed the ball there from Shiner, a little underthrown.
So Villa split out to the near side. Valenzuela to the top of your screen. Far slot, Royce Mendoza. Let's see what they do here on 3rd and long. First down is to the 33-yard line of Hillcrest. Johnson throwing it down the field. Complete to Villa at the 41, but immediately dropped by Diego Rodriguez. So it'll be 4th down. Let's see what Ken Mashinsky is going to do here. It'll be about a 4th and 5.
They're going to go for it, Gazal.
So first catch for Manny Villa. 10 yards on the play, and they're going to go for it. 4th and 5. Here we go. 2-by-2 for the Rams. Bruins the lone man in the backfield. 3rd quarter, 28-18. Ramona on top. Throw over the middle. Complete to Villa. One-on-one with Rodriguez. He runs to the 25-yard line, and he has the completion.
Boy, what a huge play.
So Villa, with 2 catches in a row, moves the sticks for Ramona. Somebody on the Hillcrest defense, they got to make a play here now. You either got to hold them to 3 or just make a play and try to induce a turnover. Johnson looks pretty comfortable, pretty in rhythm throwing the football. Give to Bruins. Runs through Scroggins, but down he goes. Christian Prontremoli there along with Juan Calles. 2nd down coming up. Bruins now 133 yards on 14 carries. Call it 2nd and 8. Big playoff implications. Ramona wants to win here. They want to secure that 2nd spot in the River Valley League. Johnson looking for it all. He's got Villa down the field, one-on-one with Prado, and Jonathan Prado knocks it away.
Prado putting the hand out there in the passing lane and knocks it down.
Good coverage. He's been their leader on defense. Had 11 tackles last week against Novi, 3rd on the team with 55 tackles. And he's been really an effective blitzer for them, Jeff. He leads the team in sacks, has 3 sacks. That's the most on the Trojans.
Show great D on that play.
Strong team up the middle are the Trojans defensively, and Prado is kind of the anchor. He's that center fielder for them. Third down coming up. Johnson, here comes pressure, throws it down the field. He's got a man, he's got Shiner. Did he get it? Incomplete, knocked away. Oh, it's a pick, intercepted. Anthony Serrano comes up with it, touchback, and the turnover to Hillcrest. I thought it was just knocked away. Let's watch the replay here. Rotating over is Calles, and Serrano just high points the football and comes down with it. Interception.
Wow, great play from that young fella.
Clutch play for Serrano. The junior, his second pick on the season, comes up big for Ahmad Noor and the defense for Hillcrest. Now it's back in the hands of Caleb Dominguez. And he's got the hot hand, already over 200 yards passing and a couple of touchdown passes. Dominguez looking over the middle. This is Norwood. The Neo juggling it. Nearly had a David Tyree catch at the 35, but can't come up with it. Drops it incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up. Nearly caught it with his hand in the helmet,
yes,
like
did.
David Tyree in the Super Bowl against New England.
See on the replay.
Trying to pin it to the helmet, trying to keep control, and down he goes. You got to squeeze that to your helmet and just go to the ground. 2nd and 10. Great effort by Norwood there. So Marcus Perez back in the middle of that defense. Here's the throw to Bishop on the outside. The toe tap, maybe a yard on the play for Bishop, and it's 3rd down coming up.
We do have an update between Arlington and Patriot. Patriot up 7. 7-0 over Arlington.
So that's good news for Hillcrest.
Great news for Hillcrest.
But they still got to get the win here. So a Hillcrest win coupled with a Patriot win would hand the Trojans the number 2 seed. But right now they got some work to do. Throw to Klein on the outside. He's upended right at the 20-yard line. Nice play on the outside. The tackle for Ramona, Christian Martinez, stepping up, and it's 4th down.
Christian Martinez was like a wall there. He didn't even know he was there until he caught it. Did a flip right over the top.
They thought about going for it, but it looks like the punt team comes out, and still waiting for an update on Daniel DeAnda. Jeremiah Martinez, the junior, he's going to punt it. Jake Valenzuela heels on the 40-yard line, awaiting the kick from Hillcrest. So about 4 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Discretion the better part of valor for Travis Carter. Had the offense out there and thought about it, but he said, you know what? Let's kick it away. You hate to waste the pick. You couldn't convert it into any points. But you don't want to run yourself out of this one the way the offense has been playing. Good kick by Martinez. Will bounce just inside midfield. Scooped up at the 46-yard line. A flag comes in. Or that was just to mark where they got it. Valenzuela to the 41-yard line where he's out of bounds. So pick the ball up at about the 46. So a 34-yard kick and about a 12-yard return, and good field position at the 42-yard line for the Rams. So another short field, and Travis Carter mentioned that when he talked to J.R. Barrett at halftime. Hey, we got to stop putting our defense in that position, and now here they are again. So from the 42, Valenzuela split out to the top of your screen. Play action. Johnson dancing up the middle, gets past Navarro, spins out of another tackle, finally brought down. Rodriguez in there on the hit along with Trey Williams, and a flag comes in late. 10-yard pickup, the stick set to move up, but a penalty on Hillcrest.
You know, we were talking a little bit about Ken Batdorf in the first half. You know, he's visited by ghosts. He just told me he was visited by Vince Lombardi in a dream. And he said, and Vince told him, run the ball.
Okay.
If you pass, only bad things can happen.
Well, I was wondering, because we were talking, he threw all those passes last week.
Because, he fell on his head. That's what happened.
We thought he was visited by, what did we say? It was
Don Coryell,
Bill Walsh, and Al Davis in his sleep.
Yeah.
So a 15-yard, that's a personal foul on Hillcrest. Makes it 1st and 10 from the 16. Johnson dancing inside the 14.
He said if you if you pass, only 3 things can happen, and 2 are really bad.
That's true. That's the old cliche, is Luna on the hit for Hillcrest. That is the old football cliche, right?
Yeah.
Ticking down to 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. A 2nd down from the 14-yard line for Ramona as they try to up this lead on Hillcrest. Johnson. Here comes pressure. He's going to try to dump it off to Bruins. Bruins the 10 dancing. Bruins on target. Stopped just outside the pylon. Touchdown saving tackle by Diego Rodriguez there, stopping him at the 1.
I bet Bruins would like to have that one back and jump inside. He jumped outside.
That was like the first shot Luke had at the Death Star.
That's
just
the first
grazed
one.
the surface. Yeah. So 1st and goal, they're going to mark him out at the 2-yard line. Option, Johnson. Touchdown, Ramona. Nathan Johnson with the keeper for the touchdown. And that could be the backbreaker for Hillcrest here. The defense stood up once. To ask them to play the short field again, it's a pretty tough assignment. And Johnson this time takes it in himself for the touchdown. Nathan Johnson, quarterback for Ramona, and what a year he's had for the Rams, Jeff.
He wasn't even expected to be the starter. He won it out.
Conrado booms it through. I'll tell you what, he's ready for the playoffs. I don't know about the Rams, but Isaac Conrado looks ready. He's in midseason form. How about that?
Give that guy I'm telling you, man, kickers. They're not. People aren't nice to kickers.
You are.
I'm always nice
You're
to
the
kickers.
only one. You like kickers a lot. Nice fake. You know, he's great. Nathan Johnson, very good with the leisure domain, with the fakery with the football.
I can't. I'm always watching the wrong guy, so obviously he's doing a great job. Do you think he and his dad, he and Coach Mush at home, are working on handoffs and fakes?
I mean, he's not the quarterback's coach, right? I think it's Matt Casey's the QB coach. Didn't he tell you that on Coach's Script? He said, don't be the position coach or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
We have a couple of coaches and sons. You know, John Rice's son plays for him at Riverside Poly.
That's right. And then there's a Brown's son plays over at Poly.
That's right. He doesn't play for his dad.
No.
That's interesting.
I couldn't play for my dad. He used to chase me around the gym.
Rodriguez with the return. Out to about the 30-yard line. That's where Hillcrest will start it out. Well, Hillcrest, when I talked to Travis Carter, he said, hey, he got the feeling. He said, we had a great practice. Even on that Monday when it was raining, they came out and they went hard. He said, the group, clearly they're not ready for the season to be over. They want to keep playing.
Of course.
And 17 points separate them from Ramona right now. So, hey, it's all hands on deck. This is Game 7 situation. So Amarian Littleton in the backfield with Dominguez. 4 receivers in the formation. Norwood down to the near side. Here's the give up the middle to Littleton. And Littleton burrows up to about the 36-yard line. Nice 6-yard run on the play for him. Clock moving. They gave him 7 yards on the run. Dominguez looking to throw. He's looking for Norwood, but he was covered. Now coming back and throwing to Norwood. Incomplete. 3rd down and 3 coming up. Coverage on the play. Nicky Chavez over there. So Chavez back in the ball game. Dejon Campbell also in the vicinity. So they got Chavez on Norwood now. So Chavez back in. Remember, we weren't sure if he was going to go. Ken Mashinsky up until about, we talked at about 5. No, we talked earlier. We talked about noon yesterday. He didn't think Chavez was going to play. Is Abdurrahman in motion. Dominguez flings it, complete to Zabados. The middle of the field has worked, and Michaelidis with the tackle at about the 48-yard line. It'll be good enough for a first down. Sticks move up, Zabados now with 7 catches for 114 yards on the evening. So he was missed last week against Novi. What a great presence. He's that security blanket for Caleb Dominguez.
Man, Zabados has been great in between the hash marks all night long.
Throw to the outside. Abdurrahman Dosi down in Ramona territory. Joseph Soto on the tackle. So about a 4-yard pickup on first down. Second down coming up. The give to Littleton dancing inside. Up to about the 46-yard line. So call it third down. Third down and about 3. Clock moving towards a minute remaining here in the third quarter. Hillcrest trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Closest to the bottom is Nehemiah Norwood. He'll throw up top and get the first down. Complete to Trey Williams at about the 39-yard line of Ramona. 6-yard pickup and the sticks move up. So Williams now 4 catches on the night. 44 yards, including a 37-yard touchdown. First and 10 from the Ramona 39. Dominguez flings it. This is Zabados on the comeback. 35, trying to stay on his feet, struggling down at the 35-yard line, so about a 4-yard pickup on the play. Tackle Desmond Watkins.
You throw the ball to Zabados anywhere between those 2 hash marks. He's great.
So a 5-yard pickup. This will probably be the last play of the third quarter if they can get it off here. Dominguez. Here comes the pressure. This is Castaneda chasing him, but he's going to take it himself. And he's pushed out at about the 10-yard line. Steps out at the 10-yard line. Nicky Chavez was the only man there. I thought Karan Bowen may have a shot at him. No flags on the play, and it'll be a 1st and goal. They'll stop the clock with the first down. They'll get one last play here in the third quarter. The give to Littleton, running over that right side, surges up to about the 5-yard line, and that's the final play here in the third quarter. About a 5-yard run by Amarian Littleton, running over the right side. Daniel Smith and Isaac Antolin leading the way. Here's a look at the previous play by Dominguez. You know, he's been big for them with his arm, now helping out with his feet. And what a game for Dominguez. Win or lose, Caleb Dominguez has stood up for the Trojans tonight. 35-18 here at the end of the third quarter, and he's bumped out of bounds there at the 10. We'll throw it down to J.R. Ibarra on the sideline of this barn burner. There is a flag on the field, so we'll maybe sort that out when we come back for the fourth quarter. J.R., what do you got?
Well, guys, as we head to the final quarter of the regular season, it's time for us to give a shout-out to all the coaches that we've had to deal with throughout the season. You know, it's really incredible to come back from the COVID canceled season from last year, try to get things back together, and you see there's been a lot of success here in the city of Riverside. So my shout-out to all the coaches who put in the time and effort, both the assistants and the head coaches that we deal with on a week-to-week basis. We wish them all the best, as some of these will head into the playoffs here in just a week. We'll send it back up top to you guys to finish this one off.
What I like about JR, he's really a nice guy.
He's super nice.
I send wishes to most of the coaches we dealt with.
Yeah, just most, not all.
There are a couple, Jeff, that I'm kidding.
I'm not.
I agree 100%. I agree 100% with JR. I'm just
there's a couple of those guys, those guys, shifty. Some of them are shifty. I might like them, but they're shifty.
Second and goal. Here's the give to Littleton, fighting. Pulled down from behind by Watkins, gets to about the 4-yard line. So good to see Manny Perez back in. Oh, that was Horton on the tackle.
Who's your favorite coach? I'm going to throw you on the spot there, is all.
Who's my favorite coach? Good question. In Riverside?
Yes.
I'm going to get in trouble no matter who I say.
That's why I asked you.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you my least favorite.
Third down. Dominguez. He's got Littleton. Couldn't hold on to it. Incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
My least favorite. Definitely Ken Batdorf.
That's not right.
It is right. Of the 9 coaches we have in Riverside, he's my 9th favorite. This doesn't say I didn't like him. I just say he's my 9th favorite.
Oh, you like them all. You just like Ken the least.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with being ninth.
4th down. Here we go. Dominguez, Zabados, touchdown. Check that. That's Jaden Bishop. 2nd touchdown of the evening to Bishop. Clutch throw again. 2 straight touchdown passes to Jaden Bishop, both coming on 4th down from Caleb Dominguez.
And going to our guy, Zabados.
No, that was Jaden
Oh,
Bishop.
okay.
Jaden Bishop.
I was very excited there for a second. I heard Zabados. I was saying hello to a couple of alumni. Came up to the booth.
They all love you. You're loved here.
Yeah, I'm liked. I don't know if I'm loved by anybody.
Martinez falls short on the PAT, and without Deonda, it's been some trouble for Hillcrest with the kicking points after. So give him the 6. It's 35-24. Still a 2-score game. Would have been even with the PAT, but 11 points instead of 10. And now the defense, again, is going to be put to the test.
Great play there. Mush just threw a nice pass. Did you see that?
Yeah.
For such a little man, he threw it really far.
So how about I go through all the coaches and I tell you what I like about them?
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
So we'll start with the River Valley League. Ken Backdorf, he's great. He'd be great at a roast, right? He's got great one-liners, right?
Yes, yes.
So who would he be like? He'd be like a Buddy Hackett at a roast, right? We've already talked about Travis Carter.
Yeah.
You know,
he wants to be a airline or Air Force pilot.
He would be great. Top Gun.
Yeah, he is Maverick.
Top Gun. Yeah, he's Maverick for sure. We already talked about Ken Mashinsky. He is kind of the tutor. Here's the onside kick coming, and a whistle and a flag. So it'll be against Hillcrest. They'll need to re-kick that. Ken Mashinsky, sometimes he's the master, sometimes he's the apprentice. We don't quite know. What's the line in Swingers? He's the guy we want to like. We're not quite sure we like him yet. He's not that guy yet. No, of course. We love Coach Mush. He's always great with us. Of course, John Rice, the Shakespearean scholar, we're big fans of his.
Yeah, but he's too smart to even talk to.
Opie Vaipulu, kind of the strong silent type. He's kind of like the Gary Cooper of the city of Riverside, right? 10-0. How about that for John W. North?
It's awesome.
Here's the onside kick. Skips loose and down at the 45-yard line. And that's where Ramona will tee it up.
Do you think we called him Buddy Hackett? That's the funniest thing I've heard in a while.
Buddy Hackett played, you can find it on, there's Shot Machinsky, you can find it on YouTube. Buddy Hackett played Abbott Costello in like a made-for-TV movie in like the late 70s, and it is the funniest thing you've ever seen.
Really?
Because they have the scene where Lou Costello dies.
Yes.
And Buddy Hackett plays the death, and it's not like it is now. Let's put it that way. You can type it in on YouTube.
I will. Everyone watching, look it up. Buddy Hackett.
From the 44-yard line, this is Bruins, runs right into the Maginot line of Hillcrest up front. Baca there. Pontremoli gets up, maybe a 3-yard pickup for Bruins. And I think we'll see a steady diet of Bo Bruins, Jeff, try to melt this clock for Ramona. They lead at 35-24.
I kind of picture him, though, as kind of a Danny Aiello type guy.
Daniel's from my hometown.
That's right. That's why I
went to school with his kids.
Were they nice?
They're very, it's weird. You definitely wouldn't think they were children of a celebrity. Throw to the outside. Complete to Shiner. Still on his feet, breaks one tackle. Has a first down at the 43-yard line. Another clutch catch by the senior Shiner. What a career he's had. He's wrapping up a pretty good career here at Ramona, just like the rest of his family.
They're awesome. They're phenomenal people. Some of my favorites.
And you're telling me there's more Shiners coming?
Yeah, there's 2 freshmen. They're twins. Good-looking kids. I'm looking at they definitely take after mom. Because Dad, no offense.
You were talking to Mom before the game.
Mom's one of my favorite people. Laura Shiner, wonderful woman, great mom, great coach, just a nice human being.
From the 41, it's a 1st and 10 for Ramona. Here's a throw. Nice catch by Avia. Did he reel it in? And they're going to say he did. It might have been. I thought it might have been a short hop, but nice job by Villa to reel that one in, close to a first down.
No, we have a great contingent of workers tonight, student workers. We have a big crew of students from Ramona High School and there's a Poly kid working with the Ramona crew.
Why would you want to work with a Ramona person?
Yeah, what? Whoa,
I would never work with a Ramona person, Jeff.
Oh, you do?
I'm kidding. Of course, I know you're a Ramona.
I wouldn't work with a Poly person.
You would not.
I would not.
Even Yancey Dotson?
Nope. He's a Ramona guy.
2nd and 1. Bruins first down. Still on his feet. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Bruins. And that could be it. That could be the coup de grace for Ramona. Bruins, his 3rd touchdown run of the evening.
You know, did you see him get lifted there off the touchdown? Why can't anyone do the Dirty Dancing lift? The Swayze lift.
Of Jennifer Gray.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? You hold up Bo Bruins like that? Like Jennifer Gray? I think they should do it. Somebody needs to do it next week. Playoff bound. Hold them up Jennifer Gray style.
And the PAT good, and the Rams pretty much in control here. We're going to look at it. 34-yard touchdown run from Bruins, running over the left side of that line. The big boys up front. Let's give them kudos for Ramona. Amari Wiley, Andrew Lopez, Adrian Ledesma, Aaron Ledesma-Diaz, and Saeed Howard, the starting offensive line for Ramona. 3 of those guys back next year. Another look. Wiley kind of grading some road. Nice impact block there by Lopez. Twist the defender towards the sideline, and Bruins does the rest. 42-24 now in favor of Ram High.
You know, we can pay high school players now, can't we? It's the NIL. Some kids are getting paid. Is that what it's called? NIL?
For your image and likeness, we got to look at Bo Bruins.
You know, I'm serious. I'll put up $50. Anybody does the Jennifer Gray Dirty Dancing thing, I'll pay him.
You have to go through the school, obviously, and the CIF will have to approve it.
How could they not?
Rodriguez from the 5. Diego Rodriguez trying to make something happen for Hillcrest, and he's twisted down at about the 20-yard line. Making the tackle for the Rams of Ramona is Isaac Vega.
Yeah, we could go through the city of Riverside, and we could support a kid. What they have to do is we ask them to do. Like if they score a touchdown, they have to do the.
You know what you should do next year is get a player each week to co-host the coach's perspective with you, and maybe have the opposing team player interview the opposing coach. That would be interesting.
That would be good.
From the 21, it's a 1st and 10. Dominguez looking for Norwood, but there's Chavez on the coverage for Ramona. And let me tell you something. Win or lose, what a game for Caleb Dominguez tonight.
Phenomenal.
With that incompletion, 19 of 27 on the night. And he's made a bunch of clutch plays, 2 4th-down touchdown tosses to Jaden Bishop. 2nd and 10 from the 21. Lines it up for Zabados, and they push Zabados out inside the 20. It'll be a loss on the play. Michael Michaelides making the tackle. He's emerged well. He's a baseball guy, too, for Ramona, and he's stepped up the last couple of weeks for them on the defensive side. Third down and 12. Dominguez flushed out, and he runs right into Marcus Perez. Applying the pressure was Manny Alvarez. Back to the original line of scrimmage. 4th down coming up.
Now, what other coaches did we not go through yet?
We talked about John Rice, Shakespearean scholar, right? We talked about Opie Vaipulu. Carnell Hunt, Notre Dame, very nice man from Long Beach Poly. Throw over the middle. Norwood there, incomplete. Martinez knocking on the door. Sebastian Hernandez from La Sierra.
We didn't get a chance to see him this year, but I ran into him at Disneyland on Sunday.
Really?
I did. His kid was running around like a maniac, and I literally looked at the wife. I said, "Whose kid is running around like that?" And I said, "Get over here, little kid." I did, no joke. And I saw his dad in the corner, and I said, "Go over and tell your dad You tell him that I said knock it off. So he ran over and told his dad, and he came over and goes, Storm, what are you messing with my son for? And I go, you want to hang out? We hung out. We did a little drawing.
Young defensive back in the making. He's running around like that. Coach Hernandez was a defensive back at Servite in college. First down for Ramona. They give it to Bruins. Bruins to the end zone again. Another touchdown. And there you go. You got the lift.
There it is. That was almost. If he would have just pulled over the top.
Amari Wiley with the Patrick Swayze lift of Bo Bruins, who has just gone for his 4th touchdown of the evening. I remember Swayze. My Swayze memory is the Outsiders.
Oh, he was also in that other one, Red Dawn.
PAT good for Conrado. He plays Daryl the older brother, in the Outsiders.
And he was in the surfing one. What was the surfing?
Point Break, 100% pure adrenaline.
That's way better than the second one.
That's a classic. Yeah, the original Point Break is a classic. The other one,
yeah. And they redid Red Dawn too.
They did, with Tom Cruise's son.
Tom Cruise's son?
Yeah. 7:48 to play in this one, 49-24, and a game effort by Hillcrest, but they could not get the running game going. Dominguez flinging it all over the place, doing a great job. 2 touchdown passes on 4th downs, but couldn't get enough support from the run game, I think, and missing Jalen Bailey was big, I think, for Hillcrest tonight. And listen, Mona's a good team. I'm not trying to make excuses, but the big-time game, Dominguez has done everything you could ask of a quarterback. Conrado with the pooch kick. At about the 20, that's a live ball. Still loose on the turf. Who's got it? And Ramona has it. Wow. When it rains, it pours for you.
You got to jump on that.
So the Rams, it was interesting, your coach's perspective. By the way, great job as always. And I found interesting, Ken Mashinsky, you didn't bring it up. Ken Mashinsky brought it up. He said, I haven't beaten Travis, meaning Travis Carter, the opposing coach at Hillcrest, and everybody knows, but I'll mention it in case there's the one person that doesn't know, is Travis Carter played for Coach Mashinsky when Mashinsky was the head coach at King High. That's Coach Carter's alma mater.
That's right.
And but since he'd become a head coach, he had not beaten Travis Carter. Here's the throw to the outside. Complete to Zach Shiner inside the 20 to about the 19.
So do you think tonight Mush will call him up and talk smack?
No, Ken's not like that.
If it was me, I would.
You're different. So if you beat Jackson Wood, you would call and rub it in his face?
Jackson Wood never beat me.
Oh, wow.
Jackson Wood, I just called him out on it.
How's Hillcrest look this year?
Oh, they're great. He does a great job. He's one of the best.
They send a bunch of big men to D1.
He has like a guy.
The kid at Pepperdine have a 7-footer this year?
Yeah, but he has a kid that's a junior now, I think, and he's like 9 feet tall.
There you go.
Jackson Wood, great coach.
Throw over the middle. That's complete to Villa. Villa still fighting. Pulled down inside the 5-yard line.
See, that's why I retired from coaching, because
you don't want to lose to your old players.
I can't. I don't want to lose to old. And my assistant coach, Justin Norman, was over at La Sierra. I was 0-9 versus my former assistant.
So you said over, done.
Done. Retired.
You had a pretty good second career, Jeff. You're doing okay.
Yeah. I like high school football better anyways.
Bruins to the outside and ridden down, still trying to fight for it. Prado and Petremoli there to combine on the hit. Prado was trying to ride him down from behind. He had to, and Bruins slow to get up. That's one thing you can't afford if you're Ramona. Hopefully he's okay. Timeout called by Tim Watt, our official, but Bruins up. He's got the Rebel Alliance helmet action going on. I love that helmet. I love it.
It's cool, actually.
I love it. So he goes to the outside.
And he falls on his back. And I think that's what kind of slammed his head on the ground. Watch here.
Ooh. And that actually he wasn't the only one. Was that Wyatt Scroggins whose kind of leg went out from under him?
Yeah, you take this helmet, and you take his helmet, and you got to like put it somewhere, maybe in the library, in one of those boxes, a glass box.
So we have an injured Hillcrest Trojan down. Do you have any update from the Arlington game?
Let me take a look.
So taking through the playoff scenarios, obviously this makes it a lot easier because if Ramona wins, clearly, as we talked about before the game, they clinch the number 2 seed out of the River Valley League, the second automatic qualifier out of the River Valley. And that puts kind of Hillcrest in limbo a little bit.
We have a final. Patriot upends the Arlington Lions 17-7.
Okay, so now it gets interesting, right?
It's very interesting.
The Lions would have the tiebreaker over Hillcrest because they beat them a couple of weeks ago 10-0. But now with Patriot in the mix, you have Patriot, Arlington, and Hillcrest all at 2 and 3. So then it becomes a coin flip situation because Arlington beat Hillcrest, Hillcrest beat Patriot, and Patriot beat Arlington. So now it's that, because Scott Brocious, our executive producer, was asking us, well, how do you do a coin flip between 3 teams? And I said, did you not see Friday Night Lights? They televise. Right. We should televise the coin flip.
Yeah, who does? I mean, yeah, how do you do that? Do the ADs get in a room?
I think they actually do it before. So
it's already been done?
From my understanding, it's already been done. Yeah. But if you're Norte Vista or Hillcrest, if the score holds, you don't worry about anything because Novi's going to be the number 1 and Ramona will be the number 2. And if this score holds now, you have 3 teams at 2 and 3 who would vie for that 3rd automatic qualifier spot out of the River Valley League. So the player he is seated. That's Trey Williams, the player who's sitting up talking to the athletic trainer.
It seems like they could do a different way to do it. Maybe Rochambeau. Rock, paper,
How
scissors.
about you? Fastest guy from each team. Get him at the 50-yard line. Whoever makes the end zone first. You're an old basketball guy, so I was and Trey Williams walking off under his own power, gets a nice hand, takes the helmet off. Good to see him walking off under his own power. So Trent Johnson, who's the interim head coach at CSUN, I was at practice this week, and so he says, okay, we're going to end practice, make a free throw, otherwise you run. And he doesn't make you run 1, he said he's going to run 5. And so he always picks a player who's not a great free throw shooter. They were all complaining, so he picked the student manager, and she steps to the line. Swish.
She's good,
they
too.
They didn't have to run. She played because she's an old player, yeah. So from the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal for Ramona. Johnson looking. Johnson throwing. Shiner couldn't quite hold it. Shiner sliding into the corner of the end zone, was kind of falling down as he tried to catch it. Incomplete, 3rd down coming up.
Come on, Shiner.
Do you ever do that as a coach? Do you ever say if you make the shot, you don't run?
All the time.
And they never made the shot.
Well, you know what I do is what's even better is you make the guy that shoots. If he misses, everybody runs except for him. Look at Shiner. Oh. He's gonna have bad dreams about that. He's gonna wake up tomorrow and say, I could have had a touchdown.
3rd down coming up. Johnson keeps it, runs into Isaac Alvarado, who pulls him down. 4th down. So the defense still fighting, and 49 points on the board, and that's really been Ramona's bread and butter this year. They run out to the big first half lead and make you climb uphill. And their defense has been pretty good this year too.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. It's a school record here. 9-1.
Yeah. And I asked both you and John Tibbles, hey, they ever gone 10-0? You weren't sure, and John Tibbles said, no, they have not. They've never been 10-0.
I called Frank Berber, the defensive line coach, who's wearing his chunkless, the flip-flops. Mm-hmm. And he said he didn't remember a team that was that good with a record like that.
Conrado on for the field goal. This will be a 19-yard attempt. High snap. Shiner gets it down. And Conrado is rewarded with the field goal. And that's good to give him. He's 7 for 7 on PATs tonight. And he gets the field goal there on the season now. 49 of 51 on PATs and now 4 for 5 on field goals. We talk about the kicker. And Isaac Conrado, the playoffs coming up, he could be a difference maker.
I mean, we've talked about it jokingly. I mean, I do like the kickers, but I mean, tight ball games in playoff situations because the games are going to be tight. You know, it's going to come down to, hey, who's ice in their veins? Who's going to hit that free throw? Who's going to kick that extra point or that field goal? And like you said, 49-51. That's a pretty good clip.
That's good. That's good. That's what you want. That's just over 98%. So the CIF people are going to go into the office tomorrow and they'll come up with the brackets. And so if you're a Novi fan or a Ramona fan, it looks like you're in.
Sunday morning, 10 a.m., I believe, right?
Yeah, they're going to post them, starting with Division 14. Conrado with the squibber. Littleton fields it at the 25, trying to get up to the outside, but he gets tackled at the 38-yard line, and about 5 minutes to go for Hillcrest. So disappointing for the Trojans, but they still have life depending on the coin flip, which has already taken place, but we won't know until they actually announce the appearance. The CIF knows, we do not know.
Well, I was just told by Jason McMains we didn't mention him.
Oh, that's right. King.
What do we say about him?
Jason McMains, you know, he reminds me, he could be a rogue on The Mandalorian. We're talking about The Mandalorian earlier.
Yeah.
One of those guys you're not quite sure, one of those guys you're not quite sure if you like him or not. Here's the handoff. Yeah, because King is in the Big 8.
Yeah, those guys.
That's like big boy football.
Yeah, that's huge.
Say Centennial, some of the scores from Centennial.
Well, they're an NFL team playing in the Inland Empire.
Wow. The run didn't net much. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. And Dominguez flings it. That's Bishop catching it.
Oh my gosh, I know who won the coin flip in the three-way tie for third.
Don't say.
I know, though.
You can't hold that information, right? Jaden Bishop with an 11-yard pickup. What a night for Bishop tonight. He's got a couple of touchdowns. That is catch number 6 for him. 64 yards and a couple of touchdowns for Bishop, stepping up in the absence of Daniel Deanda. Dominguez with the give to Pennell running right, and down he goes. Flag comes in. I'm sorry, we shouldn't have left out McMains. He's been so good to us. But we saw him early in the year.
See, and I forget because I've known him since we were little guys.
You have?
I have. We worked.
Was he a basketball guy?
No, just what we worked together at Harupa Valley years ago, and we've been buddies for a long, long time. But yeah, I know who won the coin flip. I do.
Okay.
I want to tell everyone, but I can't. I shouldn't. I shan't. Do you want to know?
I can wait till Sunday. Throw down the field. Bishop gathers it in. Knocked down inside the 20-yard line, coming over and making the hit, Desmond Watkins. Bishop holds on for his 7th catch. He's now over 80 yards on the night. How about Jaden Bishop showing out tonight?
A nice touchdown earlier, too.
2 touchdowns.
2.
Pennell running up the middle, and down he goes. And that was the difference. The way that Ramona played the run defense tonight kind of flipped it because Dominguez is flinging the ball all over the field. Close to 300 yards passing.
What a way for that. I mean, he's a senior. What a way to.
Yeah. Well, he left it all out there for sure. If this is his last game, and you're hoping it's not, there's not much more he could have done. Here's the throw into the corner. 1-on-1. Bishop goes up and gets it. Did he stay in bounds? He did. Touchdown. The hat trick. Dominguez to Bishop, the 3rd touchdown pass for Jaden Bishop. His 8th reception and another touchdown for Hillcrest.
We just talked about that young guy.
Bishop, a senior, had a 45-yard running catch last week against Novi. And he had 4 catches coming in on the season. He's got 7 or 8. He's got 8 tonight. How about that? 2-point conversion. Dominguez for Zavados. Can't hold on to it. Incomplete.
It was there, though.
Dominguez had the golden touch tonight, I'll tell you, Jeffrey. Filling the air with footballs. You tip your cap to the senior. You ever see the movie Clerks?
Of course.
He wasn't even supposed to be here today. He wasn't playing quarterback. In the spring, he played wide receiver.
That's right. Both of these quarterbacks are gunslingers.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm going to grow my handlebar mustache.
You did say that.
I'm going to grow it.
In deference, you said Val Kilmer, right?
Yeah.
Tombstone.
And my little Luke saw Tombstone part of it, and he goes, "Dad, you got to get that mustache." And my wife was on board, and she said, "You're going to grow a handlebar, aren't you? But don't you have to put like bushwhacks on the end?"
Depends. Yeah, it depends, I guess. Yeah, you got to wax it. You definitely got to wax it.
So I'll keep you in my progress as we are going into the basketball season. Next time you see me, I might even tell you what's up, my Huckleberry.
Another touchdown pass for Dominguez. And that's Christian Martinez fielding the kick. 3:06 to play in this one. Ramona pretty much in control. And remember, they went to that 2019 Division 13 final against Esperanza, a game that came down to a final 2-point conversion. Dante Roby stopped in the corner of the field right there. We're sitting where we're sitting on the right side at the pylon. That was it. It was a 42-40 game. They would have tied it if he'd gotten in inches. The old Al Pacino speech from Any Given Sunday. Football that night was truly a game of inches. November 30th of 2019. And here's the handoff. Wholesale changes for Ramona. Andrew Phelps in at quarterback for the Rams.
I played basketball with his dad, Don Phelps, who's the softball coach over at North High School.
Alan Molina with the carry as they try to wind the clock down and do the Rams. And they close in on a second-place finish. The last time they finished in second place was back in 2015 under Vinny Fazio. They were 4-1, finished in second place, and went 8-2 before losing their first-round playoff game. Phelps again with the give, just running that left side, and down he goes, and they're just milking the clock at this point. So congratulations to Ken Mashinsky. He will tie the school record for regular season wins with 9.
Good for him.
9-1. Ramona finishes 9-1 on the season. And then we talked about it all year that now there's an expectation at Ramona for this football team to win. And he'll be the first coach. Fumble picked up by Phelps. I believe when he came in, they hadn't had, I think Fazio went back-to-back. He did not go back-to-back. Fazio made the playoffs the one year that he was here. He didn't make it in 14, made it in 15. Should have made it in 16, but didn't. But since Mashinsky has been here, he's been very consistent as far as getting his team into the playoffs.
No, he's done a great job. I mean, just to buy in from
They've made the playoffs every year he's been here, correct? And he's the last guy, remember, back-to-back to take King to back-to-back playoffs.
But the buy-in from, I mean, just you look here, and the crowd is back at Ramona, and that's something.
And he mentioned that. He said, hey, the parents have been great. And a lot of the parents, who went to school here, or went to school in Riverside, or alums. Bo Bruin's parents are both Ramona alums, just like you. And you mentioned, you played ball with Phelps' dad.
Frank Berber, Mr. Chunkless, went to school with him.
But that support is so important as we get a look at the shot at the press box here. The color and pageantry of high school football in the city of Riverside. By the way, it's been a great season working with you again, buddy.
I love it. It's my favorite time of the year. It's not Christmas. It's high school football and looking at you 6 feet away from me.
I like Labor Day, but I also like working with you, Jeffrey.
Oh, thank you.
I must admit.
The feeling is mutual.
We have so much fun here on Riverside TV, and of course our great award-winning Riverside TV crew hanging out with us. Here's the punt coming up. Conrado will punt it away. Rodriguez feels at the 30, and down he goes. Making the tackle, Michael Michaelides down the field for Ramona. Still playing, his team's up 22, but he's not taking anything for granted.
Okay, we got a great crew here, except for that Ross guy.
Yeah, we got Ross here tonight. Carrie is back. I saw Kimmy was here. Trevor's back tonight.
Trevor, that's right.
Yeah. And then we got the students that are helping us out from Ramona and Poly, which is bizarre.
Yeah, that's just not right.
Go to Poly High School, you're hanging out at Ramona on a Friday night? No, you can't do that.
No.
Dominguez with the give to Pinnell running outside. Stopped at the 30-yard line. Scott Brocious, an Arlington alum.
Yes, he is.
I think Carrie went to North. She's in the truck as well. Kimmy, I think, went to Poly.
She's a Poly girl?
I think so.
Oh, I don't like her anymore then.
A lot of local people here. Second down coming up. Dominguez still in there flinging it in and out of the hands. Incomplete. Intended for Julian Sandoval. Third down coming up for Hillcrest. They do a great job. I know I'm missing. There's one of our crew members I'm missing. I did not mention. Leo.
Yeah. Great crew.
Looking for Sandoval again. Knocked down. Incomplete. 4th and 10.
And thank everybody who watches us every single week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big thing, is they get to hear our pop culture references. Most of them are under 20 and probably don't know what the heck we're saying, but maybe they'll listen to something we'll say and they'll go back and listen to watch something. But because of this, maybe.
Dominguez lines it up, throwing it down the field. Little tip drill action. Brenton Herbin knocked it down, incomplete. But intended receiver on the play was Hugo Hernandez, the senior.
But if I can get just one person to watch Dirty Dancing, I've done my job.
And we hit the high point last week with the Peter Scolari discussion. R.I.P. Peter Scolari, by the way.
Rip. As my little boys say, rip.
The nice Halloween candy discussion, too. There are issues that need to be spoken about, Jeff. I mean, this country is divided, but you and I have the tough conversations, you know.
We do.
Between the Clark and the Zagnut, you know. I want a chunky now.
So do
Thanks, Gorham. Thanks. Trying to eat clean, trying to eat healthy. I want a chunky now.
Where can you find a chunky these days? Remember, there was just a block. What was it? It was just a block of chocolate.
So here's a weird thing. So I have a friend who's German, and he loves those 100 grand bars, but he said he can't find them. But I walk into my Ralph's, and that's all they got.
They're all over the place, and they're big on Halloween.
Yeah, they are. The crisp rice.
Oh. Have you ever had Toffee Fay?
I love Toffee Fay. Right there with Caramello as Phelps takes the kneel down.
Toffee Fay, is that a hazelnut in the middle?
Yeah, hazelnut. It's an interesting taste, a kind of a coffee-ish taste. We should run these games on Food Network as well as Riverside TV. So it looks like Ramona is not going to need to snap the ball again. And kudos to Ken Mashinsky and the Ramona Rams, who are going to lock up second place in the River Valley League and a playoff berth. And then for Hillcrest, it'll come down to a coin flip between Patriot, Hillcrest, and Arlington. Clock melts away, and 52-30 is the final tonight. The Rams victorious, but I want to tip my cap to Caleb Dominguez, the quarterback for Hillcrest, who stood in there, did everything he needed to do for his team, didn't quite get the job done, but went out strong on his final game as a senior. And I tip my cap to all the Hillcrest Trojans. They're playing hard tonight. And then obviously the Rams of Ramona, Ken Mashinsky, Nathan Johnson, Bo Bruins, congratulations on the win and finishing in second place this year in the River Valley. Good luck in the playoffs.
Yeah, what a great year for the River Valley.
Yeah.
And how nice is it to have, you play your former head coach, your high school coach on the last game of the year. It's all good. I mean, you just watched, and I think the best part of this is you saw the embrace and you saw the mutual respect and friendship these two have. And that's what the best part about high school sports is the camaraderie that you can teach these young men to be great men on the field and off the field. Both these coaches do that.
Yeah, no, and the relationship, you did a great job on the coach's perspective of it. And the respect and the relationship between the two, and how Coach Carter still calls Coach Mashinsky coach, just shows you not only about Travis Carter and the respect he has, but just the role that Coach Mashinsky played in developing his kind of football acumen. We'll go down to J.R. Ibarra. He's got Coach Mush on the field.
Coach, I know there's a big spread on the scoreboard, but that was a hard-fought battle.
That was, and we knew going in, just watching Hillcrest play Norte Vista and Patriot and teams like that, those are physical teams, and Hillcrest did not disappoint. They are a physical football team, a good football team. Fortunately, our offense was able to put some on, and our defense stopped them when we needed to.
What's the most positives that you can take away with this game?
Well, our O-line blocked real well. Bo Bruins obviously had another fantastic game. Our quarterback struggled a little bit. But the big thing is we bend a little bit, but we didn't break. The kids knew they needed to win this game to get into CIF, and they delivered. So, now we wait till Sunday to see where they put us and go from there.
So what's the strategy as you get to Monday for practice time?
Definitely work on our pass defense. It's one game at a time now for everybody. So we just got to come together and fix the mistakes that we made offensively and defensively and take it to whoever we get first round.
All right, congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, we're going to bring in Bo Bruins as well here, so we'll spend some time talking to the man who scored 4 touchdowns tonight. Bo, 4 TDs on the night. Tell us about the game.
I couldn't do anything without my lineman. Lineman make the holes for me. So, yeah.
As you guys look to get into CAF, what is the mentality that you come away with here that you can take into next week?
We just got to play as a team, take it week by week.
Congratulations on a big win and a great night to running the football.
Thank you.
All right. Congrats. Okay, guys, so we're going to take it to Selection Sunday. We'll see how it all pans out here for the Rams of Ramona. So we'll send it back up top to cap off tonight's game.
Thanks, JR. Great chat with Coach Mush and with Bo Bruins. 52-30 the final, the Rams with the win. Final thoughts from you, Jeff Gorham.
Fun year. Like I said, great way to end it with two coaches and 2 teams that respect each other. Great fun and just a great atmosphere here at Ramona High School. Awesome year.
Yeah, I think the Rams will end up in the top of Division 8, probably a top 4 seed. That's my call on them. And I really hold out hope for Hillcrest. I hope that coin flip goes in their favor because maybe it'll give them an opportunity potentially to go on a little bit of a run. As we both have talked about all year, the River Valley League this year, about as good as we've seen it since we've begun covering it. I think, obviously tipping the cap to Ken Backdorf and the people at Novi. I think they'll probably end up in the middle of Division 6. They could run on a run. The Rams could go on a run. I think if Hillcrest gets the opportunity, they might be able to have a chance to make a run in the playoffs as well.
It would be. I mean, a lot of teams in this Riverside area could cause some damage. We know the Inland Empire and we know Riverside has been a great football bastion. Love to see it happen again.
And good luck to all the Riverside teams that will eventually potentially play in the playoffs. I'll put North in that equation, and hopefully a couple of more teams can get in, and we can have 5 or 6 teams and have a choice of games for us to cover. Again, want to thank our award-winning Riverside TV crew, our student crew from both Ramona and Poly High School, my broadcast partner, Jeff Gorham. My name is Ghazal Hassan. The final score tonight, Ramona 52, Hillcrest 30. We're back next week with playoff coverage on Riverside TV. So long, everybody.